Yeah, but I couldn't.
Couldn't get the angle.
Okay, now we definitely should have audio, so I can start that whole process again. So hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC, and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also stream all of my builds and repairs live here on Facebook and YouTube for complete transparency. So if you would like an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alrighty, so we're back here with Nick's PC. So if you caught the video that I made last time with Nick's PC, there was a lot of problems with it, and we were having a strange problem with the CPU, and we were getting an error with what was it, a boot error, and just other random
CPU and
interesting symptoms that were coming up. It's basically pointing to a bad motherboard, and got reason to believe that maybe something happened while it was being installed that could have damaged it. So what I said to Nick was, I'm like, based on the symptoms, it sounds like there's something wrong with that motherboard. It's very rare to have a bad CPU. So I've put my money where my mouth is here, and I've said to him, look, I'm just going to go ahead and get you a new board, and we're going to put it in, and I'm pretty sure it's going to resolve all of the problems that you're having. So if not, I'll give this board to Nick for free, and I'll keep his old board, and I'll just absorb the difference in the price between the two. If I'm wrong, that's the bet I'm willing to take, because that's how rare a dead on arrival or a faulty CPU actually is. They basically never happen, unless they've been really badly abused or something like that.
And this bit goes to Tim.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here when we do it, because we do these live. I don't pre-check anything in my videos. It all just happens live, so you get to see exactly what happens. A real PC being repaired.
And a real expensive.
So get these panels off, because we're going to have to basically remove everything inside this case. So we're going to have to remove the graphics card, we have to remove the cooler, we have to remove all the power cables, take the board out, swap it for the new board.
The GPU, the CPU out.
Yep. So
Fun considering you only thermal paste for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
that's okay. That's okay. That shouldn't be a big deal. So we'll start with getting rid of this graphics card, I guess. Luckily we won't have to mess around with the fans or the cooler. Oh.
You won't have to touch the cable management much, will you?
No, because this is basically the same motherboard, but the Z490 version of it. So it's basically got all the things in the same spot. Okay. That's right, we had these screws on the back here. It's definitely an interesting design, having these. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? They definitely make sure the graphics card's held in place, don't they? I guess it's a good thing.
You don't want it flopping around.
No, we don't. Where is PCIe protector here? Cool, cool. So we'll just leave that lying down there. That's fine. Okay, let's attack this cooler.
I don't know if you'll need that.
No, because I'll have another one with this motherboard.
Okay. But yeah, that's the bit that the guy didn't plug the cables into. So it just clicks straight into the motherboard.
Yeah.
Apparently Tim loves these, they're lifesavers.
I love them. I absolutely love those clips. I remember the first time I bought a motherboard that had that. I was so excited. What happened was I built a PC with a motherboard that had that, and I didn't look in the motherboard and see what was in all the bags for it, because I didn't know that thing had existed. And then when I was hooking up my front panel connectors, I was like, hang on, why have they put a plastic shroud around them and it doesn't fit flush with the cables I'm plugging in? And then I just had a quick look in the motherboard box and I found that thing, and I'm like, oh man, where has this been my whole life? This makes my life so much easier. Okay. My cooler's off. And we can just take this backplate off. So offsets.
Shouldn't have to change the offsets either, would you? For like in the case, for the motherboard to go straight in?
Yeah, no. Nothing really has to change here.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think we have the part to change the offsets in the case. Just to fit the
No, I think I've probably got all the parts we need anyway. Oh, I just noticed there was one of these. Oh, two of them. Shit. So when I took this off, I'll show people on the camera. I didn't see this last time. I should have checked it a bit more thoroughly, I guess.
Oh, they were the washers you were talking about.
Yeah, I saw some of them in place, but when I've taken it off now, I've seen that two of them didn't even have the little washers. See on the top two bolts there's those little plastic things that go around the base there. That's to stop the metal from making contact with the motherboard. Ooh. And so we need to make sure that those little plastic rings are in place there.
That could have been
It could have been it. Like I said with motherboards, we can't really, it's not economic to go and test all the little circuits on it and find out exactly what went wrong with it.
Well, I don't have any spare those. So.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think I've even got some on my desk.
I mean, that could have ended up shorting out the whole computer in the long run.
Yeah, it's definitely not it's definitely not ideal, to put it that way. Where's my... That's right, I moved it. Sweet.
Found some?
Yep.
Found some. I could have just been like, yeah,
Yep, keep it for a day. I'll come back tomorrow.
Hey Keegan, how you going? Good to have you with us. So that was a bit concerning to find those plastic offsets not in place on our back plate. That's I just don't even. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's kind of sad because you know there's nothing wrong. There's really nothing wrong with this motherboard. I mean, if you're gonna buy a motherboard like this, you just get the Z490 version just because it's the best one, and it's like it's not worth when you're a couple of $100 deep on a motherboard. Is it really worth to save $30 when like you know you're up around the $300 mark anyway?
Just full send it. Isn't that what building PCs is about these days?
What's that?
If you're rich, just full send it.
Yeah, basically.
If you need an upgrade, just full send it. Worry about the debt later.
Basically, I guess that's the norm in our society. I'm going to put this down because I need to take these motherboard bolts. Did I put it down on top of my screwdriver? No. There's my screwdriver.
Oh, we'll grab these out real quick.
Oh, yep. Yeah, sweet. Okay. Well, at least all the bolts were screwed down for the motherboard.
I'm pretty sure you tightened them.
Did I?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you checked over them. But you don't know what to expect. So you
No, that was the problem. That was the problem. I was all. I didn't think it was going to be as bad as what it was. I thought. I don't know what I thought about the CPU getting to 100 degrees. I was just like, yeah, it doesn't sound right.
I mean, I knew there was something.
I mean,
wrong with it.
There are some tests that you can do where if you said that it got to 100 degrees doing that, I'd be like, yeah, that's probably about right, sort of thing, because something's really intensive and all that. And you got a K series chip, so you got the.
I mean, I've been playing heaps of games, but like, I go into my app center and it won't even update things. It won't remove them off the list. I'm like, huh? What's going on here?
Yeah, well, that could also just be a problem with Gigabyte's software. Sometimes they're.
Yeah, I've heard Gigabyte is pretty unreliable.
They're actually really reliable, and they probably have like some of the lowest failure rates and stuff like that on parts out of all of them. So they're good.
In other words, they just need to update their software.
Really good hardware,
Yeah.
not as good software. So if you get Gigabyte, the RGB software and stuff that comes with it is not as good as ASUS and MSI. Or Asus for that matter, I believe. Their software's probably a little bit better. Oh, there's a screw that fell out there, that's okay. So that's our old motherboard there. It looks fine. It's brand new, but it is exhibiting weird symptoms. Just going to put it down here for now. And now we can have a look at this new one. So I'll come around the front and I'll show you this board a little more closely. You would have seen me show you this board before because I've used this board many times before in builds. So basically looks identical to the first board that we just pulled out of it. But the fact that it looks identical doesn't mean that it is identical. I'd say that the board physically is going to be pretty similar, but it's all the little things that are on this board that are different and more heavy duty. So we've got bigger heat sinks here on our MOSFETs and VRMs. We've got a 12-pin CPU power connector as opposed to an 8-pin CPU power connector that we had on the previous board. So we've got one fan header, two fan headers, three fan headers. We've got a 12-volt RGB, that's this 4 pins there. And we've got a 5-volt RGB or a 4-1 pin header there. Dual channel memory, 24-pin ATX power there. Got another fan header here. We've got a USB 3, we've got a USB-C, we've got SATA and Thunderbolt. We've got our front panel connections. These two little pins that are just above it there. So there's two little pins just above my thumb outside of the box there. That's the clear CMOS header, so if you ever want to reset any settings from the BIOS, that's how you can do that. So if you stuff up with your overclock settings, that's the two little pins to press to reset everything to default. You've got another fan header down here, two USB 2.0s. We've got our trusted platform module. We've got two more RGB headers, another 12 volt and 5 volt, and then we've got our audio. So what's that? It's an LED header and standard front panel audio there. No SP digital interface, but it's got it on the back there anyway, so you don't need the header for it. Okay, so for our connectivity here, we've got two PCIe X1 slots and we've got two PCIe X16 length slots. However, this silver one is the only one that's connected X16 all the way along. The one at the bottom there, that's an X4 length slot. So basically, because these M2 slots here, you might have heard me say before that these are PCIe X4 slots. So this slot here and these two M2 slots, they're actually kind of the same. It's just a different configuration of the pins, but those little pins inside are wired to the same PCIe bus, can talk to the motherboard just the same. So as far as the motherboard's concerned, these three, this M2, that PCIe slot and that M2, they're all basically the same. They're both X4 PCIe devices. And that's pretty much it. Over here, this is where our chipset is. So this is why it's got a big heat sink over it. So this is the thing that controls your SATA and your no, that's not meant to come off. Don't peel that off. And we've also got this other M2 slot up here, and it's got this little sticker on it. And as you can see, it says limited functionality, check manual. So basically what that's about is, unlike these two slots here that are connected X4, this one will only be connected X2. So it's only going to run at half the speed of the other two. So you want to insert your M2 drives into these two slots first, and this is your backup if you need that third one. So a bit of a compromise is made, but we'll remove that sticker now, just so it looks a lot cleaner when it's done. But that's pretty much the main features of this motherboard. We'll have a look at the I/O as well. So we've got 4 USB 2.0 ports, we've got Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.1. There's a single HDMI output there, and then we've got a total of 6 USB 3 ports. We've got 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, we've got digital audio out, surround, and of course Sony Philips digital interface. So that's basically our motherboard here. So we're going to get onto it and we're going to move our components from one over to the new one, and then we're going to put the board in, hook it up, and then we're going to test and see if we have the same problems we had before. So I really don't think we're going to see the same problems that we were having before on the other motherboard. Just simply based on the fact that CPUs almost never die, especially not when they're brand new. And so I'm just having a quick look at the socket on this old motherboard, and I'm not seeing any evidence of even just slight damage. The socket looks good. So, and on the bottom of this CPU, I can't see any physical signs of damage. So even though it was getting to 100 degrees, I can't see anything that would indicate a burn or anything like that on this CPU. Because 100 degrees, that's not like ultra critical for, this doesn't mean your CPU's about to melt. That's the limit set by Intel, that it really can't operate any hotter than that. So getting to 100 is okay, it's not going to melt your CPU. That's what I say about, if CPUs die, they're usually being abused. And when I say abused, I mean they've been pushed over 100 degrees, they've had all the defaults and safeties taken off them to achieve some massive overclock. And then the person's like, yeah, I broke a world record. And then they'll go and sell it to someone else. They don't care. Overclockers don't give a shit. They buy high-end parts, and they'll put a liquid nitrogen reservoir around the CPU. They'll turn all the limits off. They'll put ridiculous amounts of voltage into it and ridiculously high clock speeds. And they pour liquid nitrogen over the top of it, and they see how long they can run a benchmark. And if they can get it to run for a certain amount of time, it's a validated result, and then it's all good. And it could crash just after that, and that's fine. That's a world record result. And they don't care. And once it's done, it's just, oh, well, that motherboard and CPU's fucked now. We'll just chuck it out, get another one. Like, it's an expensive hobby if you want to do it seriously, but...
I mean, to be fair, when I told you it hit 100 degrees, I didn't stick around in the game too long.
No, you would have seen that and gone, something's not right. I'm going to get out of here. And
like, I pretty much, when it hit 100 degrees opening again,
actually,
I closed the game straight away and then just let it idle. Like I was using it for just Facebook or group.
Is there any paper towel? I just need one sheet.
Oh, you gotta clean that off.
I'm just going to clean, yeah.
Do you want to use my thermal paste instead of working away?
Yeah. Or if you just want to give me that tube, I'll put it for my spare ones, and I'll make sure that you get some better quality thermal paste on yours, because you've got.
I don't know what
that'll just be the standard stuff. Yeah, just leave it with me, because I can always use those little ones.
Yeah, for when you're doing like business PCs or like.
Yeah, or someone needs.
Just like an office computer.
Yeah, or someone has something that's like not like a 10700.
Not like a tank.
Yeah.
That's like my big.
Yeah, yours is. Yeah, we want to make sure that everything's running as efficiently as possible. Alright, so Intel CPUs, done a couple of these today. Let's get it as close to the socket as you can, and it will just drop into place.
A nice 10700K.
Yes. It's looking nice. So don't wiggle it around or put any pressure on it with your fingers. Just make sure that the corners are nice and even in there, and that you don't have like a corner sticking out or anything like that. You have very delicate pins in these sockets, so just try to do what you can to not damage anything.
My hand would be like.
Flip that down. Our CPU is installed. So we'll get our RAM. So we've got. How much RAM have you got here? Are these 16 sticks or
they're both 8s.
2 8s. Yep.
2 8s.
So we'll get our 8GB DIMMs installed.
I think they're HyperX.
Yep. These are. I'll tell you what. These are.
The RAM sticks get dropped all the time.
Yeah. No, that's okay. They're a bit like CPUs. They're kind of hard to damage.
Yeah. That's why my heart didn't like completely drop when she dropped them.
Watch Linus's videos. He drops things all the time. He drops things just. I reckon he just drops them because it's like a meme at this stage. Okay, yep.
I know they're HyperX, but I don't know. I don't know exactly. I want to invest in RGB ones, but they're expensive.
You can get Aorus ones at the moment on special. $125 for two 8GB, 3200 megabyte. Sorry, 3200 gigahertz. Sorry, megahertz memory.
I mean, if I do that, I might go for the whole 4.
Yeah.
Just like fully stacked out.
200. Yeah, 250 bucks would get you all 4 of them. So
Yeah.
and 32 gigabytes of RAM.
And it look really clean.
And so you got an M2 in
And
there.
M2 in there,
Yep.
yeah. It's got my Windows on it, can't hear that one, mate.
Yep.
Or you'll
Otherwise
be
you won't
like,
be doing shit.
or you'll be like, why is this not booting? Why are we running into more problems? Oh,
What's up?
I'll just. Okay.
Is it true that those plastic covers you can have them on or off?
Yeah, you don't necessarily need these, but what they do is these get pretty hot when you like put them to work.
Oh yeah.
So that's why they put these heat spreaders on.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, 500 gigabyte WD blue. Like these are okay. These are like definitely the budget option.
I actually saw that Western Digital were one of the top brands.
Oh, they are. They are. It's just that. It's just that their WD blue is like a cheaper consumer line.
Oh yeah.
So they've got their WD black, WD red, and WD gold. They're like more sort of high end ones.
I only know so much computer. So that's why you're my guy to go to. Yeah.
Well, the plastic was removed off the M2 drive.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's always a positive. Alright, so everything's all prepped there. We get rid of this plastic. They just love covering things with plastic, eh?
Okay, plastic
It's-
was taken off that one as well.
It's kind of unnecessary, but they. Oh. So this is 100% pure isopropyl alcohol, and this is what you use for cleaning electronic components. It's also great at removing thermal paste from coolers and CPUs. Because generally, I mean, if you've installed a cooler like the previous day and you've got to take it off and change the CPU or something like that, and it's got thermal paste on it, it's only been on there like 24 hours, you don't have to clean it off. You can reuse that because it's pretty fresh. But what happens is after a while it starts to like kind of dry and harden out, and then once you break the contact, then if you try to reapply it, it won't work quite as well. So you want to reapply that thermal paste. I know it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's just like that's just part of it, really. So basically, we're just going to drop this motherboard in, and it's like exactly the same as the previous one.
I had a question. Are the boards bigger or are they just about the same size?
Basically, they're the same size. They're ATX motherboards there, and yeah, this one's just slightly different configuration and stuff. Essentially, this one's more of a like mid-range consumer sort of board. This one here is definitely aimed at a gaming enthusiast and all that. So
Gaming enthusiasts like myself. That's
Yep.
all I want to do is play games.
Yep. Yeah, exactly right. So that's why it's got this one here's got two X4 length PCIe X16 slots, and it's still got the 2 X1 slots. This has just got the one extra one there, because it's basically assuming that if you're a gamer, you're probably not going to have all these other random cards stacked in there. You might have a capture card, and that'd probably be it. And the capture cards can usually fit in X1, or they need an X4 if it's a 4K one. So they're like, yep, so how can we make this motherboard like relatively cheap? So they're like, yeah, we'll put one less slot on it there, because the chipset is more expensive. That's what you're paying the extra money for.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting a capture card one day, because I still also like to game on PS4.
Yeah.
So if I get the capture card on that, I can just plug my PS4, stream to my PC, stream from my PC, whatever I'm playing on my PS4.
Yep. Get these cables out of the way.
Every time I hear someone say funk, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's okay.
So what was peeling before? Just this thing on the...
No, I just lifted that up, and I was like, hang on, it's meant to be stuck down like that.
Okay.
It's weird, eh?
Yeah, it is. I've never seen that peel off, ever.
Yeah. It's like it looks like the engineers designed the heatsink over the chipset, and then the marketing team went, no, we need something else on that, and so they've stuck that over as an afterthought.
I mean, it looks nice either way.
Mm.
So.
Yeah, right.
I like the reflective stuff on it. It's
I
kinda-
mean, I wish it'd light up.
Yeah. You can get them that has the bit that, like the Aurora's looking.
Yeah.
thing.
Mine lights up.
I
Oh.
can't really see.
You can't see it because it's all hidden, but it does light up. If you stick your head under there and look in from an angle.
Side panel off.
Too bright.
Yeah, I know. Light the beacon.
Like, I had to turn the lights down on that because they just get too much after a while. Oh. What's this number at the back here that I see?
What's
What
the
number?
number thing? You've got this little
Has
display.
Oh, that's the that's the post error code. So I don't need that little post beep speaker.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a digital display that puts out a particular error code.
Oh, yeah.
So that display there will tell me anything that's wrong with my computer. It'll tell me exactly what state it's in and what it's doing. So it says AO at the moment, which is all okay, I believe.
So how come your graphics card's spinning? I thought they were only supposed to spin if they're under load.
No, so it's spinning and then it's shutting down for a bit and then it's spinning. It's just it's probably a little bit over temperature, but yeah, because it's always doing something. It's always like outputting the display for Windows and stuff like that. So
It looks really nice. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, see, that's my dream, to have
Yeah.
a lot of lights like that one
Yeah.
day.
you can get there.
Can you daisy chain RGBs and all that as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right, now I'll put this back there. Whoa.
Alrighty.
Oh shit, I want to turn it off. I didn't know where the power button was on it, and then I ran my finger lightly touched it. I was like, nope.
No, that's alright. The stream's going through Christine's anyway, so if you turned it off, it'd be alright. Where was that packet of... Hang on, are these the plastic ones or the metal ones?
I like metal ones. Plastic.
That's plastic. Sweet. And LGA 115's the middle hole.
Tell you what, it was a mission to put that blanking panel back in.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I had to take out like one of them, and then like I had to put the one in that fell out back in.
That one was like a bit too tight for this bolt.
So let me guess, it just split and went flying.
Yep.
But yeah, I had to pull one out and then stick it up top, screw it in, and then put that other one in that I took out originally, and then put that back in. Quite difficult.
Yeah, it's painful. Alrighty, so make sure it's all in the right spot. That feels better.
Barely notice the difference.
Sweet. I'll make sure these screws are right.
Tim,
Yep.
Donald says, hey guys, sorry I'm late. What are we building today?
So we're just installing a new motherboard in Nick's PC here. So he got a new PC and he's sort of had nothing but troubles with it since he got it. So he was getting these weird errors, CPU errors, which I've advised him that it's very unlikely that it's the CPU. So what we're doing today is we're putting a new motherboard in, because I think that's going to be the easiest solution to this problem. So
I mean, there can't be any other component that's causing it, I swear.
no. Well, the fact that you had shorted out RGB lights is the thing that sticks out to me as a bit of a red flag. Because if something's shorted out on the motherboard, then who knows what damage has been done from it, you know?
The fact that metal was touching the motherboard.
Yep, that
also
could have
be a
been, it
problem.
could have been that, and that's right on the back of the CPU. So what might it be saying is the problem, when it's really the circuitry around it that's the problem? But it might actually be saying, yeah, CPU error. Just because that's where on the motherboard the problem is, and that's part of my rationale here is that it'll be the motherboard.
That metal could have been causing an interference and hadn't quite shorted it out, and the computer was just like CPU error, mainly because of that.
Could be. But the good thing is that you can sleep soundly now knowing that the cooler that the CPU that you've got is the right CPU for your motherboard. So you haven't gone with like a CPU that's really good, and then you've got the motherboard that is not going to allow it to run at its full capacity.
So are you saying that board wasn't the right board for that CPU?
No.
Okay.
No, you would. So if you want to run a K series chip like this i7 10700K, really what you want is either the H470 chipset, which if you come to me and you're like, yeah, I don't want to overclock, blah 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 blah, but I want like the best performance, I'd probably be looking at the H470 chipset of this board.
Oh, yeah. Never
Because-
seen what H470 looks like.
So it'll look pretty much just the same as this board. Just like the others looked fairly similar, like this one and the other one.
So what sort of...
The H470 is basically Z490 for people who don't want to overclock.
What,
It's got the
what
better
Sort of,
it's got the better features on
what
it.
sort of CPU would you recommend for that board? Then?
So that would be for a non-K CPU.
Oh, non-K.
So if it was an ordinary i7, ordinary i9.
Oh yeah. So regular 10700.
Yeah. What do we got?
Donald says it's not a thermal issue, and motherboard power issue. Fried RGB all day.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, I don't know. It's hard to tell what specifically has gone wrong with a motherboard when you're seeing weird errors. But as a general rule, if I've seen RGB that's shorted out and stuff on a board, then I'm pretty confident that, yeah, we've got some sort of problem that we're not going to fix from a different CPU or anything like that.
Just when it comes up CPU error and VGA error, you think, is that my graphics or is that actually in the CPU itself?
Can someone hold this block down? Just
This block?
Yeah, just hold it down. Sweet. Once I get the screw on, that'll be all good. Yeah, sweet.
At least for
Yep.
the right screws.
Yeah, no, we definitely got the right screws here.
It'd be funny if you said, "Yep, that's fine," and I let go of the block and the spring just goes.
No.
Have you ever had that happen before? Like something just fly loose and hit you while you're trying to build the computer?
No, I don't think so.
I remember you had a case shatter on you once a while ago. Was it?
That's what I was originally looking at, but the guy's supply, he was like, "Oh, the 10700K is way better than the 9900."
Yeah, well, he is right there. Yeah, 100%. The 10700K is basically a 9900K, but in the 10th gen. So you get roughly the same performance as a 9900K. You can overclock it to basically 9900K levels, but it's only an i7 on this board.
Even in standard benchmark between the 9900 and the 10700K, the 10700K just burns it straight out of the ground.
Yeah, it all depends. It all depends on like the tuning, really, because you could have it set up where, you know, depending on how it's tuned, what motherboard it's in, it's going to make a big difference to how it's going to perform at the end of the day. So,
Tim? Donald says, I recommend a 5900X.
oh yeah, I mean that's great. 5900X, absolutely. I'd love to recommend them, but the thing is, you can't get them. They're basically non-existent. They're harder to get than RTX 3080. So, essentially, 5900X and 5950X to me, they're unreleased SKUs that are coming soon. They're not actually on the market properly.
Isn't the 5600X also hard to find at the moment?
Yeah, you can basically not find them. I can get 5800X, and I've got a special on them this week for $699 for the new system build. So that's the Ryzen 5000 SKU that is available out of all of them. So it's great. It's great having those options available, but it's not much point talking about them and treating them like they're an actual option until we can buy them. You know, it's the same as the Radeon 6000 series cards. They're in such low numbers out there that they're essentially not on the market. Easier to get a 3080 than a 6900 XT. So, what's he saying?
Testing the old board to find the issue in a later date.
Yeah, I might get around to that at some stage. I'll put another 10th gen processor in there and see if that's the problem. But first of all, we're gonna fire it up with this new board here, and then we're gonna see if we have the same problems.
Do you have any 5900X or 5950X CPUs for sale at all?
Oh, did you listen to what I just said then about Ryzen 5000 series? Like they don't exist.
They're extinct.
They're essentially not on the market.
They're extinct, like the PS5.
Don't even think about them at the moment. They don't
I had a
exist.
friend get fucked over with that PS5 thing.
Now,
He waited months.
I was in the same predicament. I was like, should I get a PS5? Should I get a PC? Because at the time it was either PC or PS5, whichever I could afford. And I was just like, PS5's not going to be out for a year or so, so PS5 it was. Or PC it was.
Yep. Yeah, it's a bit silly when they try and set up these things and they try and release these products, but then you can't actually buy the product. What's
You only got pre-order and then you sold on. You wait like 2 months. Waited
The
like
only
4
reason, the 5000 series of CPUs is so out is because like it was pretty much like when COVID first started, everyone would just go shop and buy.
No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with that because when COVID started, it was just a case of there was the Ryzen 3000 series CPUs.
And then ever since 5000 series came out, everyone's just like, yep, we want one. And then they just gone from the shelves.
Yeah.
Donald says I've been waiting for my 5900X since November.
Yeah, dude, and I've got no solid ETAs. I get asked about 5900X and 5950X like twice or 3 times every day from people going, "Hey mate, do you have the 5950X?" Like as if like if they ask me that, yeah man, I got 20 coming in tomorrow. No worries.
Yeah, they do.
Like, what? This is what's happening. Like, I know the guys down at Umart and stuff like that. They get them. A big business like Umart at Milton, for example, when they get 5950Xs, they get like 1 or 2 units for a business the size of that. So that goes to show you what the actual availability of these chips are like. They're basically not on the market. If you're waiting for one, even now, you got months to wait. They ain't gonna be no readily available 5900s or 5950s for the foreseeable future. And I hate saying it, but that's unfortunately the reality. I'd love to get a hold of one myself for our editing workstation, but that's not going to happen either. So I'm not intending on buying one. And I hate giving the bad news and the words like this, but this is the situation that we're in. You know, it's the reality. You can't get these SKUs. The fact that they're advertising them and the fact that they even show up in search results on Google is just, you know, marketing dream. But
Donald says
you ordered from PC Case.
Case, you've been waiting for ages. I guess I'll keep waiting. Hello, ruined my weekend.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Honestly, man, I feel for you because I understand exactly why you want the 5900X and the 5950X. Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. We know, everyone knows why everyone wants them, but the unfortunate case is that they're just not available right now. You know, I'm selling PCs to people, you know, like just with 3600s, 3700s, 3800s on B550 and X570 chipset motherboards with big CPU, big power supplies and stuff like that. And the whole idea is that person's going to update to Ryzen 5000 once it's available and they can get it for a reasonable price and stuff like that. So, and I've been telling them, I'm like, look, you're better off doing that, because even if you get one relatively soon, it's probably going to be well overpriced.
Yeah, I get it. It took me months to get my 3080.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, and like I said, 3080 is like easier. It's easier to get a 3080 than it is a 5950X right now, which is a shame. So I'm hoping I'll get some 5900s over the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping I'll be able to get my hands on some. I'm not going to tell you how, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to get my hands on some. But I'm not going to make any promises about it, because yeah, that's the situation that we're in. If they arrive somewhere, I got someone who's going to keep some for me. But that's it. That's all I can really say. There's no guarantee on it. I don't have a date on it. Just been told that hopefully soon I'll be able to get a few of them at least. So if you've hit me up for them and you haven't paid for anything, you don't have one on hold, maybe soon, but very, very limited numbers. So I don't want to really say too much and get people excited about it. But yeah, that's the unfortunate situation that we're in with all this.
Donna says I had to order my 3080 from Perth. If you get a 59X before mine arrives, I'll cancel my order.
Yeah. Oh,
Fair
dude.
enough.
Yep. Well, I mean, you can get the 3950X, which I don't know. If you're buying it for the gaming performance, then I understand why you'd want to wait. But if you're buying it for productivity, the 5950X is still a great CPU for smashing out renders and stuff like that. Like, the 5950X is better, but you know, like, we're talking like the very top tier of productivity CPUs here. So, you know, the 10900K i9 is better than the 9900K i9, but if you have a 9900K i9, it's not like you're going to have too much of a noticeable difference in experience than with the 10900K, because they're both right up the top. So
Don's gaming, streaming, 4K drone video editing.
oh, okay, yeah. So you're actually putting your card to work there. So that's good. Most people are just like, yep, I'm buying this because it's the best CPU, and they're not actually planning on using it for productivity and stuff. So, like I said, at least you're actually going to use it for editing drone footage and stuff like that. And in that case, it's going to make your life a breeze. You'll smash through those 4K renders with that CPU. Absolutely smash through them.
Looks like those blanking panels put back on now.
Yeah, it does. That was doing my head in, man, to be honest. That was weird. These bolts were in like the wrong way around when I got it, and I was like, you were like, you don't think these bolts are the right bolts for this? And I was like, I was looking at it, I'm like, no, they're just not. They're going the other way.
Yeah, I just didn't know that.
Anthony says my friend in the US is after Ryzen 9 5950X, but has been told that he may not see one until towards the end of the year, and it would be a miracle before he gets it.
Yep. Yeah, and that is the situation. There's so many. You can talk to everyone, and everyone's hearing different rumors and stuff like that. But basically, word around the campfire is essentially these CPUs are going to only come in little tiny drips and drabs. If you can find one, happy days. But yeah.
Donald says, well, my kid wants it for Fortnite.
You
Told him to stick with his Ryzen 5.
Yeah.
You don't need a 5950X
For Fortnite.
No,
Oh,
man, no way.
You probably need like a.
Did you watch my benchmark video where I tested that that 6600K with the 1650 Super in Fortnite?
No, I missed that one.
Oh, well, yeah. You don't need much to run Fortnite, eh? Like,
You only
You
need-
can run on a potato.
pretty
You should
much.
probably run Fortnite on a 580 to be fair.
Yeah, oh no, you can, absolutely. No worries at all. I mean, Fortnite on low settings generally becomes CPU bound, not GPU bound. So,
It says yes, I did with the 6600.
yes, yep. So yeah, that just goes to show with Fortnite, like that 6600 is just a 4-core, 4-thread processor, and while we did have it overclocked pretty high, it's still just a 4-core, 4-thread processor, which is, it has, at stock, it's a very similar performance to an i3 9100F. So,
Did you get any crashes in that overclocking video? Like I know sometimes you try to exceed their limits.
yeah, we did the overclock video on it, and we got up to. The final stable overclock I found was 4.6 gigahertz all cores with 4.7 on 2. So that's pretty good from a 6600K. And that was with just 8 pins of CPU power. So, you know, realistically a pretty good result. And if you can get an old CPU like that and get that sort of performance out of it, it's pretty good. It's not the fastest CPU in the world or anything like that. A 6700K would be even better, but it's going to cost you a bit more.
I mean, it beats mine straight out the box. I'm only sitting on, I think, 3.8 gigahertz.
Yeah, probably.
Like, if I wanted to, I could clock up to the 4.
So with yours, you can just run it. You can just run it at boost all the time. So you can run it at 5.1 gigahertz all cores, just all the time. And that's what people normally do with a K series chip. They just run it at full
Like you
speed.
said, since I have a 650 watt power supply, there'd be a minor issue.
No issue with that.
Okay.
No, not at all. Not for standard. Just running it at boost speed, essentially. That's not going to be an issue. Because that's the thing. Like, it's engineered to go up to that clock speed.
What? Oh, you just
She found some more
You
sticky.
found some more.
Over your RGB thing.
It was over the RGB on that.
Oh, that doesn't really matter. Like it's always been fine.
Oh, but the thing with it. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
What'd you do?
I've screwed down the motherboard with the USB 3 cable out the other way.
Oh
No, it's okay. It's okay. Because what we can do is we can just remove these 2 bolts here, and then we can just bend it back just slightly. Oh, we have to remove a 3rd bolt. Because we can bend it slightly, but you don't want to bend it too much, if you know what I mean. There's like a happy amount of flex.
That's what I wanted to look at on this board. Oh, and those pins that you ended up bending up the top of.
Oh yeah, I bent them back in place.
Oh, you bent them back?
So what it was that pin there.
Yeah.
That was bent.
Yeah, because I look at these when I'm using the RGB software, and it's got like LED C2 and all the headers that I
Yep.
can control.
Yep.
So yeah.
Donald says hello to the other 4 people watching. Yes, indeed. Hello. Welcome to Organised Disorganisation.
Yeah, it'd actually be good to see you do a video testing this board out, getting to the bottom of what's wrong with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Get some quality.
But the thing is, the thing that I've said before about it is that with testing motherboards, there's sort of only so much that you can do before it's just like a pointless endeavor, essentially.
Yeah.
We can test it. We can test it and like recreate the same problem that you are having, but the real test is coming up when we fire this on.
I'm really hoping there's no more problems.
So am I. So am I. For your sake, man. I really am, because.
Sweaty.
Okay, so that's all good. It's all good. Am I missing like a fan or something like that? No. I feel like I'm missing something.
Time to strip all the cable management and read it.
No. Let's not do that.
CPU power connected.
Yeah, CPU power, CPU fan. Let's put these bolts in. We've got no SATA devices. Oh no, we do have one SATA device, but I've plugged the SATA cable in.
Okay.
This is basically going to look exactly the same for you. Only
And then I should be able to mix and match my RGB.
well, see now you can run your RAM at full speed. You can run your CPU at full speed. You could have run your graphics card at full speed as well with the old build, but
If I decide on the overclock, I mean, it doesn't really bother me. The fact that I can play games, that's enough for me.
it'll only be a factor if you want to achieve a certain frame rate and you're just a little bit short of it, then you'll be able to achieve it from doing that.
I mean, I sit on 200, 300 frames as it is now.
Yeah.
Like I'll be playing Warzone, and that's really intensive on like frames and memory and all that. And
Yeah.
it'll just eat up Call of Duty like nothing.
Yeah.
My Apex Legends, I'm usually sitting on about 250 to 300 frames.
Yeah, oh, Apex Legends, yeah, for sure. For sure.
I had to put this command in my Steam because I wasn't sure why I was getting capped at 144.
Yep.
So I put this command in the launch options and then booted Apex up, and then next minute it's like 300 frames. Like, alright, I'm happy with that now.
Yep.
David says hey
Who was that, sorry?
David.
Hey David, how you going? Just putting the final touches on Nick's PC. He was having some weird problems with his motherboard. So we hope it's his motherboard anyway. The CPU problem would be significantly rarer. Not impossible to happen, but definitely significantly rarer. I just need. I have a Wi-Fi antenna around here somewhere. I don't think I do.
You don't really need it, do you? I mean, onboard Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you got onboard Wi-Fi, but it's not, that's
Oh,
alright.
you just want the speeds a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Those top lights come on straight away.
Yep.
It says, I'm looking for a monitor still for the gaming side. Any recommendations? Nothing under 1440p.
Yeah.
1080 is so last decade.
Yeah, definitely.
Indeed.
Definitely. 1440 is what you want. Oh, yeah, we've got that fan hub there with those fans connected. And where is this RGB from the power supply? Hang on. So, no, that's connected. That should be hooked up to power supply at RGB.
I'm trying to figure out why these come on. Are they connected to the power supply?
These are. Where Because what did we do with these? We connected them. We connected these directly, I'm pretty sure, because we couldn't connect them. Yeah, but now it's addressable. Even though they're connected directly to power, they're addressable. So
Okay.
we can change. We should be able to change it all with the software
Would
on
you
the computer.
suggest, Donald, like a monitor like mine? What's my monitor?
I can't remember the model number off the top of my head. Donald, send me a message and I'll send you a few options if you want.
Yeah, I need some monitors. Today I picked up some good old DVI monitors.
Oh yeah.
And I bought the adapters for them, so I'm just going to use them for the time being. They're like 19 inch. Is it coming up?
Come on. And what's that?
There's no way. Oh.
There we go.
What took it? Oh. Oh, never mind.
It's posting now.
Yep.
What took it so long to sort it? Shit. Getting devices ready. Huh.
Yeah, so it's detected that there's been a system configuration change here.
Okay, so that's just a motherboard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, we got a new motherboard, and that's the thing. When you turn it on for the first time, it does a lot of checks.
Tim scaring me, man.
No. This is normal. Did you see how I was just pretty calm about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're calm, makes me panic.
No. If there's a problem, you'll know there's a problem.
I've literally seen you go, what the actual fucking shit, man?
Yeah.
When you're streaming due to somebody leaving plastic on the copper block of the water cooler.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, good. I don't have any pornos on my desktop. Oh, what's this? Ah, connection. Probably Steam. Oh no, MSI.
Yep, that's exactly right, Donald. So it's just the fact that we've got a different motherboard in here, so it takes a little while for it to post.
So.
Oh, I've just pressed the shutdown button with my elbow there.
Oh, good on ya.
I mean, it wasn't updating anything.
That's okay.
That's all good. Next minute, new motherboard needs BIOS updating. Tim shuts it down, brick the motherboard.
Oh no.
I'd literally be screaming. Did you find that header, Tim?
Yeah. So I'm just trying to play with that now.
Donald says, well, I remember when Tim was
Oh, I
getting
just
that
saw that
plastic
back.
cover on the water cooler.
All right. So that takes them on.
Yeah, those orange ones will go orange. It's just, I don't know why. I guess it's just like default.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
default color for Aorus.
Yeah, what, orange?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so where do you have to connect them to?
Yeah, so this is a little bit strange. I'm just trying to work out what is going on with these.
I'm just gonna be quiet for a second because the last time I was talking to somebody about it, they plugged it into a 12 volt and all I heard was this.
Yeah, and that's the concerning thing about everything that's happened.
What's this? BIOS setup, boot menu, Q flash. What's a Q flash anyway?
So Q flash is so you can install a new version of BIOS.
Okay.
Why is it just staying on that?
I don't know.
I'm just looking for some RGB cables here.
I don't understand how the lights are on even though it's turned off. Just because power's plugged in.
Yeah, well that's generally a setting with the motherboard that you can turn on. You can make the RGB lights stay on all the time, or you can have them so it turns off. So that's not the right one either. That's why.
Always making Tim look for things.
What's that?
I said I'm always making him look for things.
Oh no, it's not that. I'm just should have the right one here somewhere. Got plenty of the wrong ones.
Come back tomorrow.
Tim, Donald says, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Ha.
I know. And then he says 5 watt constant power.
Yeah, Tim can show me all this. I know some computer knowledge, not all of it.
Christy says, is that the new Xbox?
Ha.
No,
It's a lot better than the new Xbox.
It's a lot better than the PS5 and Xbox combined.
Okay.
I don't mean to start console wars, but PC Master Race, that's all I'm going to say. Even though I still whip out the controller and play with controller on PC.
Yep.
It's just better when you're not playing at 60 frames per second. Or 30 frames per second. Whatever consoles run at.
Usually 30.
Donald wants to know what the case is.
That is the Dark Blader X5.
It's a Dark Blader X5. This one.
Cougar one.
Cougar.
Yep, Cougar Gaming. It's so hard to plug in. I hate RGB headers.
I love RGB, so colourful. Gotta stay positive, kid.
Oh, sweet.
Since I've bought a dark plate as well, mine just looks a bit different, so I thought I would ask. Thanks.
Ooh.
Okay.
What just happened then? Like, I saw a heap of lights go out and it scared me again.
Alright, so this looks like we're going to be sorted, I think.
Ooh.
So that was power supply light coming on.
Power supply light, I can't see it unless it's default orange. Again. What's that?
It's a controller.
Oh, those top ones are moving
Yeah,
now.
so that'll control your top ones.
But I'll just be able to control it through.
Donald wants to know, does that case come with the built-in GPU brace as well?
No, I don't believe it does.
GPU brace, I don't know. Oh, no. No, it did not come with the graphics card brace. So that's a remote for the top ones. But what's...
Is there a button on the back of this power supply to change the...
No, there's not.
Sometimes they have.
And so the RGB is coming on now with an orange light.
Oh, yeah, that'd be...
That sounds like the default from the motherboard because AORS is orange.
What header is that connected to?
It's connected to a 5-volt RGB header.
Okay, I was going to say, if I go into RGB Fusion...
I have, and see now it's just turned itself off.
Oh.
So let's just go into RGB Fusion and let's see
Performance in
what's...
the RGBs folder. Oops, that's way off to the side. Oh, the light will bug around and flick about because I've got them turned off on it. And the DC2, that one just turned off. That's probably why it turned off. But they're the rainbow ones.
Digital wave.
Any colours come up? I don't even know.
No, I'm not seeing anything. It should actually just come up. That's very frustrating, eh?
Yeah, just a tad. Just say,
Okay. But for the other ones, all the other RGBs,
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's the front fans. Why are those top ones? Oh. They should be the top ones. Right? The only reason the LED C2 and that, I turned them off because they weren't actually working at the time, so. Static. Oh. What's that one? Okay. The LED. Oh. That's weird.
So, this is our controller, so where are these hooked up to?
Oh, that power supply's on there, is it?
Oh, it is too.
So that would have.
Maybe we might have just had a loose cable.
Let me just check something.
Oh no,
again.
it'd be one of them, wouldn't it?
Digital wave. Is that digital? That's digital wave down.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So that's my power supply. What's LED C1?
That'd be one of the 12-volt headers that's got nothing connected to it.
Oh, so I can just chuck that one off.
Yeah, you can turn them off if you want.
C2. Yeah, that would be the 12 volt, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
C2 and C1. And then that's just it. What are these fans at the front? Or can I not change those? Let me just change over to red real quick. Because I want to see. Oh, maybe that's in there. No, those top fans still need to change colour. The top fans are controlled by the remote, not by.
Hang on, no. It should be able to control them.
Oh, that's why that's on default. I was like, hi. Daisy chain, I think you call it.
Yep.
That's red now. And the top fans. Huh.
Now,
And now, I just changed everything to red.
there we go. All addressable with RGB Fusion now.
And where'd I put my little remote? Because I should be able to use that as well. There it is. Because you actually have to turn all these off through RGB Fusion. Okay, I don't know what I did there. Sync mode.
But do you even want to use this?
Oh, I mean, it has some nice colours to it.
But it's only going to work on the Cougar.
Ah,
It's not going to work on the rest of it.
I don't know why it doesn't work on the rest of it. That's kind of disappointing.
No, because that's a Cougar one, and the Cougar controller is actually in the thing there. So you're going to want to
Sorry, that fell down.
That's alright. It's not very stable. Yeah, so what you want to do is don't worry about that remote because it's only ever going to adjust the
Just-
RGB, the block, and
Okay.
these fans because it's Cougar.
So
Cougar want you to buy all their own stuff.
by colour cycle, it only controls just that.
Hang on, go back.
You actually have to enter that for it to
Yeah.
all light up.
Yep. And then, let's see,
I'll get anyway. Trying to take ever show because I just love that it's so pretty now.
Yep. Turn that controller off, and then you'll be able to control it all with the software, which is what you want ideally.
Oh, let's see one I left on the. Yeah, now I can mix and match my colours.
Yep. So what we've got to do now is install our drivers, because we're going to have some, well, we're going to have new drivers now for this.
Yeah, not the
Oh,
400 series.
need the internet.
So what drivers will it install? Will it still install the 400 series or the?
It'll just install.
nice.
It'll install new drivers for the motherboard that you've got now. And this is This is a much better system now.
Yeah, see, there's all them ones.
Yep.
Why is it saying BIOS?
That's just the app that allows you to update BIOS.
Because that actually scared me when that popped up.
No, that's alright.
And now that it'll actually be able to install and restart properly.
See now, it's doing all these drivers again now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the new motherboard.
Let's install the 400 series restart later. Oh. There's a lot more drivers there than last time.
Yep. Because you've got the proper motherboard. You got the actual legitimate motherboard. All the other motherboards below it are just compromises.
Another cheap budget.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have gotten me.
It's fine.
through.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll get you there, but
It would have got me there, but the fact that it had problem upon problem upon problem.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll test it and do a bit of stuff with it. We might be able to get it working like pretty good just without with no RGB things connected to the headers. Because it might be a case if we rip all the RGB headers out of it, that might mean it will work okay. If not, it's I might use it as a spare test bench for Intel. But I don't need it because like CPUs are so rare that something goes wrong with it. And the only reason I'd need this over my current test bench is if I need to test the CPU. So I don't really have much use to that.
Just chuck it in a business PC and sell it off.
Yeah, well that's part of it, eh?
Oh, are they all done?
No, I accidentally clicked restart now, I think. Well, at least we got your power supply RGB going. That was what I was a bit confused about. I was like, what's fucking going on there? And then I realised that most likely what the problem was that we were...
Why does that still do that though, if the red lights come on?
Oh, that's normal.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's completely normal.
Because I was always trying to wonder when I rebooted it, it's come up VGA. I was like, what the hell's VGA mean?
Oh, that's the videos. So where are mine?
Hard to see.
Yeah, I've got the same configuration down the bottom there.
Oh, yeah.
So like, let's look on mine. Watch what happens with mine when it boots up. So, AO code. You'll see that display there. I can change to all different.
So is that addressable or?
No.
It's just got RGB.
It's just got RGB, and you can change the mode on it. But all right, so watch it when it boots. Watch the lights that come on when it boots up.
Oh yep, I see them. Okay.
And then AO. And it's starting to boot now.
Oh,
So yeah, it'll always display those lights.
No, it's all good. I was just looking.
Jimmy, you got too much crap in your PC. It's hard to see behind.
Oh, I know.
I actually like it.
It's a big case, and if you don't have lots of stuff in there, it looks empty. It's always looked empty to me for most of the time I've had it.
I'm actually jealous. But I hope I don't walk out with that one instead of my own. Oh, what am I stuck on? The bin. That took a while.
Yeah, I could probably get your PC running almost as good as that PC.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good. Don't have to restart now.
No. So we got a lot more of this crap to install first. But no, you should feel a lot happier now and satisfied with the result. Now that all of your RGB is addressable with software there, and you have
Oh, you're too fast for me, computer.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I was looking at my laptop earlier and it was like i3. What do I do? Typical, custom, or complete?
Oh, let me have a look. What are we installing?
Bluetooth.
Best setup.
Oh, we can install everything.
Yeah. What was my Acer specs? It was an i3 7125U or something.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of that.
So it's
And
a seventh gen i3 notebook processor.
So I've literally, yeah, it's too quick. Things a little demon machine.
Oh yeah. And like, yeah, I mean it's only sitting there at 4.6. It's like barely even doing any work. Because this it boosts to 5.1, I'm pretty sure. Let me just check that out. 10700K max boost.
I'm pretty sure it boosts to 5.3.
5.3, yeah. No. 5.1 on 2 cores. That's its max boost.
Okay.
And your memory won't be stock memory. It's HyperX Fury memory. Yeah, so that's really slow. That should be 32, I think, for yours.
Is that because of the BIOS though? The profile not being set because of the new motherboard?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be doing any RAID or anything like that, are you?
Right? Like what? I have no idea what you're about.
RAID is where you get multiple hard drives and you configure them to all essentially be the same hard drive.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll be getting like probably separate hard drives
Yeah,
for more
yeah,
space
yeah.
along the way, but that's it.
Now, what you can do is you can pool hard drives together, and you can do what's called a RAID 0.
Saying restart now. Restart later.
It's not giving me an option, I don't think. It's just gonna do it. Well, I know why, because that's the RST drivers. So you don't need that unless you're doing RAID, but it's good to just have the right drivers installed just in case you ever want to do that. Like, so with your SSDs at the back, you could get a second SSD and you could run them in RAID 0, and you're basically going to be able to read and write data at twice the speed. And if you were to get a third one and put it into that RAID pool, it'd go 3 times the speed.
Okay.
4 times the speed. Okay, sound should be back now. Just confirm if you're hearing sound. You should definitely be hearing sound now. I can see it on the screen. So, no, my microphone went dead. So I've got a wireless microphone. So there's like a transceiver that gets plugged into the camera, and then there's another little piece that sits on my desk there. And yeah, the bit on my desk just went flat. So. It looks like the sound just died, so like it would have been working and then it's just gone flat then, which is good. Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know, because I won't notice. I'll get too caught up in what I'm doing and I'll just keep crapping on, talking silently.
So that board there, Tim, how come it wouldn't grab the chipsets and all that?
With your other one,
Yeah, with the old board.
that would have just been an Aorus app issue. I sometimes get the same thing on mine. I've got an Aorus board as well.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it just sends through like a corrupt driver or something. Oh god. Trolled, eh?
No, it says hi.
Oh, I thought their screen name was them paying me out.
No.
I was like, what? Noob?
Oh, that's right, you stream on.
I don't have 30 years experience of fixing computers full time, but I don't think I'm a noob.
No, it's
You stream on YouTube too now. I forgot about
Yeah, I'm
that.
doing YouTube, and I've made a Twitch account, so we're going to do Twitch as well, because I figure that that's a pretty popular platform as well.
Just chatting, building PC on Twitch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's part of what people like with the live streams, is being able to interact, ask questions, all that kind of stuff.
That's not doing anything at all.
Yeah, that's fine. That's because we didn't install. Yep. So that should all be sweet. Let's just go into Windows Update and make sure that. Oh, Windows isn't activated. Did he not activate Windows for you?
He won't even send me the activation code.
Oh, okay, so. Well,
Oh, put my phone.
let's download. Let's get the quality updates. Like, it's okay. You don't necessarily need Windows activated, but it will show like an overlay in your game saying Windows is not activated and stuff like that.
I mean,
If you used a dodgy key, sometimes a dodgy key can activate, and then once Windows detects it. Oh, actually, no. I know what it'd be. I know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because we've changed the motherboard. That will be the reason there. So what I'll do is I'll get you another license with that motherboard.
Okay, cool.
Yep, that's cool.
That's
I can get them cheap. So
that's fair.
really cheap.
yeah.
I don't want to go back to the other door anyway.
No.
Whatever he did to this and whatever parts he has, he
Just
can
yeah.
just keep.
Yeah.
He can just keep, man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh wow, so dangerous.
No, it's so like it stretches from
Yeah, it's a huge trough, eh?
I just saw like the little bit of rain. I was like, wow, so dangerous.
Gonna get washed away.
Gonna melt.
That's good.
Oh yeah, the CPU. I tell you what, she's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take the last panel off when I'm gaming, just to let it rev out and have its fun.
Yep.
And yeah, I just feel the air come off the cooler. It's
Yep.
amazing.
we going there?
What are we doing? 43 idling.
Yeah, but we're not idling. We're installing stuff in the background.
Oh, okay, yep.
We're sitting at 4.7 there. Yeah, that's not a problem. It's definitely mounted correctly, and it's doing its thing.
I know when it's idling, it's sitting at like.
It'll-
Lucky if it pushes 30 degrees.
Yeah, it'll get to a radiator like that on a CPU. It'll get it below 30 degrees. It'll probably get it if you leave it there for a long time, just doing nothing. You'll probably see between 26 and 29 as the minimums
that's
on
exactly
all of them.
what I see on idle when I'm
Yeah.
just chilling playing
Yeah.
the PlayStation instead
Yeah.
of PC for once.
Yeah.
It'll just be like 26, 29.
Yeah, it'll
just
get
like,
it gets right down there, like really cool with a decent cooler on it like this. Sweet as well. I mean, the only other thing that we'd normally do would be to install XTU on it, so you could
I'm
overclock. But
pretty sure I've already got XT.
Oh,
Pretty
did you?
sure you installed that already.
No, I think I didn't install it because you.
Yeah, I don't.
Where are we?
I don't think I want to overclock it. Mate, like I said, one day I'll come to you and be like, yeah, Tim, we're going to overclock this.
Yeah.
But that's not today.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, if you want the most stable, yeah, I didn't install it. I saw it come up, and I was like, no, we don't need this because you don't have the right motherboard.
Oh, that would have been in the updates. That would have been in the Gigabyte App Center. I went through, installed all that to try to get those other chipsets and that installed, and then ended up uninstalling everything that I installed.
Yeah, because it had that error, and Windows will roll back drivers that you install if it has weird errors, because it assumes if you install drivers and then it has trouble booting up and stuff like that, Windows by default goes, oh, well, we better reverse recent system changes to the last good configuration.
With my restart issue, updating that audio driver,
Yep.
I'd go reboot and it'd just be like uninstalling, reboot, uninstalling, reboot, uninstalling. It's like, just install your drivers, man, so I can listen to people talk on like Twitch or YouTube or Facebook.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely frustrating, man. Like.
So what's that controller do now? Does it still control everything, or is it?
Yeah.
really...
So I'll show you. So these controllers, these ones here.
Mhm.
So you've got like cycle modes, cycle colors. You can put it on temperature mode, and this button here turns this remote on and off. So if you press that on, it'll disconnect those lights from the motherboard, and you'll only be able to control it from the remote.
Okay.
You press it again, it'll go back to motherboard control. So I've got it on motherboard control there now for you, so you don't even have to worry about that remote. You can just control it all with the software on your motherboard. So, which is always going to be the best way. And then we just rewired a little bit of stuff there on that last header, because for some reason when I had the power supply daisy chained, it just wasn't getting like a signal properly from RGB Fusion. But then when I changed the configuration of the cables, it was like, yeah, no worries, we can do this.
Oh no, we're gonna have the bulgy case.
No, not at all.
I was watching this guy build a computer on YouTube. He had a bulge on his case about that thick.
Oh, fucking hell.
I was like, sheesh.
Dude. Oh, hang on.
Updates paused. Your device won't be up to date while updates are paused. Huh? Did you accidentally press the button?
I think I did.
Time to rewire it all. Just so it sits in there.
No. It's all good. It's just. Oh, Really? See, the best way of... See, the problem is I've got it on this Lazy Susan, and it keeps spinning it around on me.
Oh, my God. Pop it again. Yeah, see, I don't ever take off the back panel. I only take off the front panel because I like to breeze from when I'm gaming.
Yep.
Turns air conditioning into a whole new meaning.
Yeah, that's it.
Are those? Oh yeah, those top fans should still be the exhaust.
Yeah, yeah.
So weird having all the hot air go up. Apparently through Gigabyte you can download the app on your phone and control all your RGBs through your phone as well, but I don't know how that works.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, it goes through the internet.
Oh yeah.
So you like synchronize your phone app to the app on your computer, and then you can just use your phone to adjust it and stuff. Pretty sure most of the main ones have that, like MSI, Corsair definitely do with IQ. You download IQ on your phone and control all the lights.
That's the cooler you're talking about, the IQ H150.
Yeah, IQ is Corsair's RGB brand. It's the name of their controllers and the software that's for it.
Yeah, they're really nice coolers. I was actually looking at getting one of those, but I was like, I feel like the Cougar ones.
The Cougar one is probably better. It's probably a better quality cooler. That's an alright cooler. It's one of those products where like they've paid money to make sure that their thing is on the top of like a heap of prominently displayed lists of best AIO coolers, even though they're not really the highest performing.
Oh, so pretty much they just paid money to get their logo on it to make it look nice.
Yeah, they've paid money to get on the top of like PC Mag's list of best AIO coolers. And then you can go to like someone like Gamers Nexus and look at his in-depth statistics on testing coolers and shit like that, and then you can go, oh, okay, so that's not actually the best cooler. This one here is better. Sweet. So that looks like everything's done now. Yep.
What would that update be for? Just framework.
Yeah, I was probably doing some just ordinary Windows updates and stuff. We'll get that sorted, and then we'll get the XMP sorted for idle in a second.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out what that Realtek audio background.
Oh, that's the audio panel. I'll show you that when we get back into Windows.
Yeah, because
I
saw that just popping up.
That should be. That's probably worth. That's one of those things I should make video on. I've got to make videos on all these little subjects and upload them to my YouTube channel and shit.
I come to you because you want to make a name for yourself. I'll deal with my beast and then you'll make a name for yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's the plan. So
Well,
I love doing what I'm doing. So I'd love to be able to just do this full time if I could.
In the end, I always ended up spending what, $3,000 on my computer.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Because what I paid originally, $2,600, $2,609 and 50 cents, and then.
All right. So, hang on. No, I was meant to. I hate that.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Computers, they restart so fast these days that like it's really easy to like miss the. Something was trying to do something then. But,
Yep, that was audio.
Oh, okay, yep. I'll show you that anyway, because you probably heard me saying that in the videos that like you've got like a sound card basically baked into your. Oh shit!
Did you do it again?
I pressed the wrong button for the wrong manufacturer's BIOS.
Well, what's the
So
button for this one?
MSI, it's F11. Gigabyte, it's F2.
There we go, we'll be running at 3200 megahertz
Yeah,
now.
32 is on there now. Sweet. always good.
Sounds like it's got raw power right now.
Yeah, that's just, it usually spins up like this when it's like readjusting itself.
It's like, oh, I have to run faster now.
Yeah, it's like when it's doing those first checks that it does when it turns on. It's like the part of the software that controls the fan speeds is temporarily disabled, so it just sends a command saying everything full power while it's doing its checks because it doesn't have any software to control it. So it's like, it's most probably a case that it'll either the fans are not going to spin at all, or they're spinning at full speed while it's doing that. So anyway, I'll come around here. So okay, so it's trying to install looks like an update for Realtek audio console. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
It's got a different version of it. Wants to restart. Okay, we'll restart.
Gigabyte updates. That's what irritated me. That notification always popping up.
So we can once we get everything installed correctly, we can actually disable App Center like that. We don't have to leave it installed if it's annoying you, or we could shut it down so it doesn't keep
Pop up
coming
like
up
that.
for you.
But like, how do I know when to update chipsets, or they don't really freak out chipset updates and all
You
that?
generally not. It's not very often. No. It's usually you'll need to do like a BIOS update and stuff like that when if you wanted to plug like a newer CPU in it that was compatible with the same socket but released at a later date from when your motherboard was released, then you might have to do a BIOS update so that it knows how to talk to the new chip.
Yeah, hello, is this Tim? I need to buy something. I ain't touching nothing, man.
Oh yeah, Realtek audio console. So it's this one here. You can get into it just in the start menu.
Ooh.
And audio console has all advanced audio features that you can use. So I'll do a video on this.
Ooh.
So if we go into our settings here, so we can configure all this sort of stuff, and
Oh, so you can change your panels. So if you want it to be like a subwoofer at the front, you can just change it to a subwoofer at the front.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with those settings.
And this is a pretty basic version of this app. Yeah, okay.
You need to activate Windows.
Yeah, we can do
So
that.
did you want me to pay you for that, or?
Yeah. I'll send you an invoice for all this, and then you know what you're paying, but yeah, you won't pay much for this. Let me grab another license.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a lot of money, mate.
Yeah, no, that's alright. I'm going to try, I am going to try that one, just one more time, because it's very weird that this, I've been buying keys, I've been buying keys from this company for quite a long time, and I have never had a problem with a key. I've never had a key come back like rejected or failed or any of that kind of thing.
for upgrade. Because you don't have a valid digital license or product key.
Oh, hang on. Is this just Windows? Oh, this is just Windows Home. Ah.
Windows 10 Home.
Ah. Why didn't he put Pro on for you?
Because I had to pay $110 home, and it pretty much just, yeah. I didn't even get to look at the key the next day.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so you need a home license. Activation.
So it says I can't use that device because it's used on another device, but it was just technically used on another motherboard.
Yeah, so when you enter a Windows key, that key becomes tied to your motherboard.
Good to know. I did not know that.
So yeah, depending on the type of key that you have, if he put an OEM key on your device, then that's probably why we've got this error and it's not letting you reinstall. If we'd got a retail key, which is what I'm putting on your device now, that will actually let you change the motherboard. And if it doesn't, you'll be able to go onto the Microsoft website, go into your Microsoft account, and you're going to be able to tell Microsoft that I want to delete this PC from my Windows license, and then you can delete that from your Windows license, and then you can put it into your new one.
You've lost me.
Yeah, so basically there's what they call OEM, or original equipment manufacturer versions. And what that means is if you've got an OEM version, Microsoft doesn't want to know you. They don't, you call Microsoft up and go, hey, I'm having a problem with my Windows computer. They'll go, oh, okay, what's your product key? And you'll tell them your product key and they'll go, oh, OEM, oh, you need to contact the people you bought that PC from. We don't support OEM. And they'll want you to come back to someone like me for the support. Retail copies, however, they are supported by Microsoft. So if you get a retail copy installed on your device and you call up Microsoft and you give them your product key, they'll go, oh, certainly, sir, I'd be happy to help you. And that's how it works, basically. So we're gonna put a retail key on your device.
Well, like I said, I'm done with that other person.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And
I didn't realise it was that bad.
so you've
Like
said,
when I started.
So you've said, you're not typing anything there, Tim.
Oh shit! I'm using the wrong keyboard. I got two keyboards in front of me, and I'm just
Yeah, that's just the mindset of the gamer. Just play and do whatever as much as you can. Let's just throw my whole bank account at Tim. Actually, I could probably just send you the funds for the Microsoft now if you want.
Yeah, that might be easier.
For the key, that is.
Yep. Let's just make sure that
It works.
we are activated and this
Please.
will work.
Please. Oh, okay, I'm broke. Nah, it's all good. How much are they retail?
Preparing for upgrade. Really? Jeez, did he put like the N version on here for you?
What's that?
Noob. N for noob. No. Something interrupted. Make sure you connect to the internet. Wait a few minutes and try again.
This hurts my head.
So, what fucking version is on here?
How do you check?
Yeah, okay, Windows 10 Home.
There used to be a way you could pull all your details of your product key through command prompt, but that doesn't work anymore.
No, they've locked it. They've locked it down, which is a little bit concerning. We'll try it again as per the instructions. That's fucking very weird.
What's next? We're gonna go get a different version of Windows and
No. We just do a Windows reinstallation if we're having problems with this. That's the easiest way. Yeah. The fuck? That's the right key. Check the correct key, try again. That's just fucking bullshit. How much stuff you installed on here?
just a couple of games. Star Wars and Apex and
You got anything important on here?
No, I haven't got a mad porno stash if that's what you're wondering.
No, just like anything that if you got stuff on here that's unreplaceable, that needs to, if we were to do a reinstallation, a fresh install.
No, all good.
Do it.
Do it.
Just would rather make sure it's all fucking working.
What have I told you since I've been again? Just full fucking send it, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just start over and we'll do a fucking fresh install with a fresh key.
Fresh, probably Windows 10.
Yeah, 10 Pro. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Edition, probably like the cheap shit edition.
Yeah, well, see, I always install Pro on my customers' computers because Pro gives you access to remote desktop and stuff. So if I sell a computer to a customer, I want to be able to potentially remote desktop them if they have a serious problem. But
I just didn't want to go through the trouble of having to pay to reinstall Windows.
no, fair enough. But
It
let's
seems like
let's
it has to
just
be done.
let's just fucking do it. Yeah, like I said, if you don't have anything, there's no like precious photos or precious music or porn, unreplaceable porno.
Can't replace that.
No, it's just like it's like that scene in Family Guy with Peter, Joe, and Quagmire, and Quagmire's learning for the first time that there's this thing called internet porn, and if you don't know, Quagmire's kind of like a bit of a sex addict, and they're like talking about they're talking about an old model on the front of a magazine. So I'm going to activate this now with the install.
Wonder if it'll work.
Okay, let's try this. First, let's do this one.
I'm gonna have no operating.
But see, this is no. See, this is the thing. Even if you were to enter a bad code here, it will likely still install it for you.
Donald says low on feeling a reinstall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is best practice when we get a new motherboard, because Windows will have extra drivers installed in the background for the old motherboard.
Man, it just falls out again because I didn't put the bottom in properly.
Someone says giggity gig.
Okay,
Tim.
so our
Tim.
yep. Giggity giggity. Yeah. So back to my story about Quagmire. Yeah. So they're all sitting around and they're talking about a model on the front of a magazine, and they're like, oh, she was so hot back in the day. Blah 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 blah. But they're like, I can't get excited about these swimsuit editions anymore. I've been spoiled by internet porn. And they're like, yeah, pretty much, blah, blah, blah. And Quagmire's like, what? What are you talking about? Internet porn. And he's like, yeah, they've got like, thousands, millions of naked pictures on the internet. And Quagmire's like, what? And then Joe pipes up, and videos, thousands of them. And he's like, what? You don't use the internet, Quagmire? And he's like, what? That crappy dial-up thing that's a pain in the ass? No, I don't use the damn internet. I thought that was for nerds. And then the next scene, Peter's back at home, and he comes out to check his mail, and Quagmire walks out of his house, and one of his arms is now super muscular, and he's got a big 5 o'clock shadow going on, and Peter goes, hey, Quagmire, you doing all right? Quagmire's like, hey, yeah, I just gonna come and check my mail. Have you been lifting weights, Quagmire? No. Actually, Peter, I've got to get back. And he just walks straight back inside the house without checking the mail.
It's the one with 169 gigabyte. That's M.2.
Yeah. So that'll be drive 1 here. So you got a 1 terabyte SSD. That's the one at the back.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be the 1 terabyte one.
Yeah, the 500 gigabyte is M.2, which is what I have Windows on.
Yeah, so that's drive 1. So what we need to do here.
Why is there so many partitions though?
Oh, that's just how Windows sets itself up.
Windows is weird.
Says sometimes Windows doesn't like BIOS changes, so you might be on point with a fresh install.
Yeah, it like I said, it's generally the best. It's generally the best practice. Okay, so now we've got. Oh, I should put the screen around, then you can actually see what I'm doing. So I actually deleted all the partitions there, because when we reinstall Windows onto a drive, we need to make sure that we've got a full drive of unallocated space, and that's because of those partitions we deleted. That's what Windows is going to create again now.
Does it mean I'll have to redo all the Windows updates and?
Yeah, but
okay. They won't take too long.
No, we'll do all that.
Just how many petitions Windows takes up. It's like,
That's
create 2, man. That's all you need.
well, it needs like a few megabytes for boot manager. Then it needs a recovery partition. Then it needs the main partition, and then there's one other one. I can't think of what that does off the top of my head, but there's normally 4, including unallocated space. Oh no, it's just the 4th one is unallocated space.
I was trying to find out why my Windows taskbar and all that looked plain white and like.
Yeah, not black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because you're on home and it wasn't activated, so you couldn't adjust the thing.
Well, that's not my fault. I paid for a code and I just didn't get it back. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh well, this.
I wish I could have reversed time and just come here just to begin with.
Yeah, well, I mean, could have done something. Could have done something pretty good. I would have got you some RGB RAM.
Yeah,
For
what was
sure.
I supposed to start with? The quote was like, Kingston RGB. I don't know.
I mean, you got Kingston RAM in there. It's HyperX is Kingston. So, well, I think Kingston's Samsung, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. You're always getting, if you're buying RAM, it's all coming from either SK Hynix, Samsung, or Micron. They're the companies that make it. Doesn't matter what brand you buy, it's coming from them. They're the three main places, and it's like they're the only companies in the world that are like set up to mass produce computer RAM. So it's very specific. It's not like just any old tech company can just put up a couple of walls, buy some machines, and start pumping out RAM. It's not like you need a quite a considerable investment in a very specific kind of facility for that. And that's why it's all made from basically three companies, and that means that the product overall is of a really decent, consistent quality. Yeah, that's the one. Usually, it's bad when like a duopoly or a triopoly control everything. It's usually bad for prices, bad for competition and stuff. But when it comes to things like tech being produced, it's actually probably a good thing for everyone, even if it does cost a little bit more under that paradigm. At least you're getting consistent levels of quality and standards, and there's not this huge, big range of different qualities, and then people don't know what they're buying and all that kind of stuff. But that's just how it worked out. It's not like it was set up like that. It's just a case that people only trusted certain brands, and then a few main players emerged as the primary three companies.
Put your arm there or you'll turn it off.
No, I'm being very careful about where my arm is after the first time I did that.
Next minute. So the first CPU fan that I was supposed to get was a Coolmaster Hyper H411. That was in my first quote.
H411.
Yeah, the H411.
That's an air cooler, isn't it?
Universal CPU fan.
Oh yeah, so it's an air cooler. Fuck all these things off. Why do they have to like put all this shit on by default? Every one of these should be its own tab with detailed information about what each of those options are, and then you should be clicking accept for
Trying to
each.
help you. How about no?
I'm yet to meet the person who's like, oh, I love Microsoft Cortana, it's the best assistant ever. Like, I've never said nobody ever, eh?
Literally no one.
Since Samsung makes the RAM, Kingston just designed the RAM modules.
Yeah, yep. So I'm pretty sure it's Samsung that makes Kingston.
Okay.
And that's how it all goes. It's like they give the illusion that there's lots of brands making it, but really,
Probably get your arm off.
True love-hate relationship, isn't it?
well, we've been together for 15 years this year, so yeah, we'll give each other a bit of shit after 15 years.
Oh, this is booted. Yay.
Yep, sweet. So let's get onto the internet. Let's get our updates, which won't take long because we've got good Wi-Fi with this.
Somewhat decent Wi-Fi. If you plug the an antenna in, it would be done in 10 times. Well, it
Oh
does.
no, we're doing all right. We're getting.
Does the built-in Wi-Fi without the antenna actually still go pretty quick?
It goes all right. It's getting decent reception here, but we're not really too far away from. Not really too far away from anything.
I'm gonna have to set up my controller again.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's what sort of controller you got?
I just got like a regular PS4 controller. I plug it in my PC.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And then just hook it up through Bluetooth.
yeah.
And then and then it's just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna give you the Xbox drivers for it. So when you play a game, it shows up as an Xbox controller. When I want the PS drivers, I get the PS symbols in my games.
Mm.
No, I have to get the Xbox drivers.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing with it is that Microsoft is Xbox. So because Windows already comes pre-installed and pre-configured for plug-and-play compatibility for Xbox controllers. So if I was to grab an Xbox controller and plug it into yours, it'll just come up instantly, Xbox One controller installed, and all the software is already it's already pre-installed with Windows. If you don't plug a controller in, the software for the Xbox controller will just sit there in the background unused, and then as soon as you plug a controller in, it doesn't even do an install thing. It just comes up at the bottom corner, Xbox One controller installed, and then it's fully installed. So because of that, it's my recommendation for anyone buying a PC is to buy an Xbox controller, not PS. Just because I know if they buy an Xbox One controller, I'm not going to get a phone call as to how do I configure this controller. I know that if they get the Xbox One, they're going to plug it in and it's going to work, and I'm not going to get a phone call.
Whereas with the PlayStation controller, you have to download a program called DS4.
Yep, and configure that, and then if it's Bluetooth or anything like that, then there's that extra layer of potential problems.
I know how to install it. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, just give me the PlayStation drivers, please.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was a little bit easier to get them working.
That's Windows reinstalled.
Yeah, doing those updates now.
Did you end up getting that key in, or will you do that after the update?
No, I put the key in.
Oh wow!
So
Really?
it looks like it worked. But like I said, if it didn't work, we might not know at this stage because it'll.
So update and stuff.
20 for the 20?
Yeah,
it's
go.
just there.
Just installing some prep for him.
love how enthusiastic we
I know.
Yeah, just check it out.
Every game computer needs Steam. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't touch any of those apps like Fairmark or Crystal Disc or
Yeah.
yeah.
They're mainly just for testing, really, fundamentally. Just to make sure that everything's okay under stress and all that.
That might be the drivers getting their update.
Yeah, that's the graphics card driver getting installed. Nice. Tuner. What? Catch you later, Donald. Have a good one.
See ya.
We'll see you next time.
Solid system is an understatement.
Yeah, this is. Yeah. Everyone will be jealous.
Like I said, it should be outperforming the next gen console already.
Yeah, yeah.
Like whenever they decide they're going to announce the specs for PlayStation 6, I can guarantee you.
Surely PlayStation 6 isn't going to be for a little while now.
Oh yeah, you'd hope. No, I reckon it'll take them like 3 years.
Yeah.
That's
It's usually about how long it is between console generations.
to the PS3 and then it took them 3 years to do the PS4. And I've had my PS4 for about 3 years now.
Yep.
Close to getting close for sure.
Go support. Utility, get our app center.
Tim knows his board up by heart, so nothing's
Yep.
going to go wrong.
Yep, know these boards very well.
Thank God. No more problems, and then I'll
Yeah, no, this is
I get to see Tim.
this is the end. This is the end of your dramas with this system now.
Awesome.
Once we get all this installed, we'll be all happy days while you're ahead.
We get to see Tim anymore, just remembering from a guy on video.
Yeah. No, well, that's good. Like, I mean, I'll end up talking to people a heap, and then I sell them a computer, and then I don't hear from them anymore. And that to me that's a good thing, because if I don't hear from them, that means everything's sweet. There's no
You
problems.
can guarantee when I want to upgrade something, like even if it's the slightest thing like RAM, damn,
Yeah.
yep, you're installing it.
Yeah.
You're making a video of it.
Yeah.
You're a decade. Was that about the PlayStation topic?
Yeah. Yeah. Between the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 6. Yeah, I mean, I reckon it'll be a fair while between them. I mean, they can't even produce. But this is the problem, right? This is actually an AMD problem, because AMD make the processors that go in the new Xbox and PlayStation.
I thought,
So
I
it's-
thought PlayStation was actually running Intel.
No, they're both running AMD this time. So that's part of the problem. Is the same reason why we can't get 5900s and all that at the moment. AMD are really struggling to keep up with demand, essentially.
I'm surprised they haven't chucked the 5950X in the new Xbox or the new PlayStation. It has-
No, but that's the thing, because they can't afford that level of processor. They need to be like budget conscious.
Oh yeah.
It's a big part of the equation, is that because consoles are aimed at like the lower end of the gaming market.
Yeah, 30 FPS.
They need to like make sure that they make the stuff inside out of high quality components that won't fail over time and all that.
But for the new PlayStations, they've actually gone the extra yards for the new generation of consoles. They're trying to get everybody on like 120 hertz,
Yep.
and 8K and all that. So they've actually gone the extra yards to produce a great console.
Yep. But you know, they can't produce enough to meet demand.
No, I think my computer will only run at like 4K. Yeah, well,
You'll do 8K. Absolutely,
I can
man.
do 8K.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no worries at all. All 30 series graphics cards can output to 8K. Even 20 series graphics cards can output to 8K. Like, you gotta remember that my GT 710 over there will output to 4K, and that's a GT 710. So, the thing is, you won't be able to, if you were trying to game at 8K, that's where it'd be slow. It'd be like 20 frames a second for you at 8K. You get a 3090, you can do 60 frames a second in 8K.
Isn't it true that you need to have a 1,000 watt power supply to have anything higher than a 3080, 3090?
3080 and 3090 recommended power supply is 750 minimum, 850 ideal.
I don't know who the hell was telling me that you need a 1,000 watt power supply for a 3080, 3090 then.
No, that's
got
those people who are like, you have to have like 500 watts more power than you actually need at all times. If not, that's a problem.
You only need 100 watts extra than what you have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there are those. There's a type of person out there who like builds a PC that uses 500 watts at max, and they're like, oh, I need a 1200 watt power supply just to be safe. Like,
yeah, maybe one day.
yeah, okay, I'll give you an example. You can run a 3080 and an i9 on a 650 watt power supply if you
So
want.
how come you went 1,000 watt in that?
I went 1,000 watts in that, pretty much just because I had a 650 in it, and I put a 1,000 in it because that had the extra cables for the CPU power. My 650 watt didn't support 12 pin, so that was part of the reason why I went for it. But then the other reason was when I was looking at an 850 watt power supply, it was only another $35 to get the 1,000 watt. So when it's 260 or something like that for an 850 watt, and it's like 295 for the 1,000, you just go, oh, I'm spending that extra $30 because I'm already 200 and something dollars in, so just get that. And also that 1,000 watts with my system means that at peak it's running within like its most efficient part of its power curve. So I just seen JB Hi-Fi got a big shipment of PS5. Interesting.
Interesting. I ain't got the money for it. That's what I was going to ask, but we have to recalibrate the fans.
Yeah, we can do that while this is all going on.
I wasn't sure if installing a new motherboard would have to recalibrate all the fans.
Yeah, you will have to do that recalibration. It only takes a minute to do that.
It's late already.
What's that?
I said it's late
It's
already.
getting late. Yeah, I know. And this did.
For 2.5 hours.
I mean, at least it didn't take 4 hours like last time.
Oh. That's why you do it right the first time, and then you don't have to spend all this time backtracking and doing all this. But at least now that we've done this, and it's taken a little bit longer to do the Windows reinstallation and all that, but at least now you can go home and be like, it's fucking done. Everything's fucking sweet.
You can control me fucking.
All the RGB's controllable. Your motherboard's not putting up random fucking errors and shit like
The
that.
Gigabyte App Center's probably still going to tell me that I've got all these updates to install when I don't actually have to install one.
So we will get XTU in there. We'll get XSplit broadcaster if you might
I
not want
use
that.
OBS, so I don't want that one.
Oh, you don't use OBS? No
I mean,
worries.
I do use OBS. I don't use Expert
Yeah, okay, no worries.
because OBS is just superior. So it's installing all the chipsets again, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
But the good thing about what it's doing now is that there won't be any other random stuff installed in the background, because sometimes there can be conflicts. It's rare, but yeah, the general like what I think Donald called it out. It was like, yeah, that's the best thing to do with a new motherboard is a new installation of Windows, and that's exactly right. Yeah, so basically, we're not 100% sure of what exactly went wrong with that motherboard. There was like RGB fans that had been shorted out. When I did go to install the motherboard, I didn't notice it when I inspected it the first time, but the on the back of the cooler there was metal touching the back of the motherboard. There's a little plastic washers that keep the metal from touching the motherboard. They were only on 2 of the bolts, so yeah, the board was putting up CPU errors, and I said to Nick, I'm like, it's very unlikely it's actually a CPU error, but if something's gone wrong with the motherboard that's affecting the way the CPU operates, that could cause the motherboard to put up the CPU error code. So yeah, like I said to him, I said to Nick, I'm like, man, honestly, just get a new motherboard and be done with it, because motherboard problems like this, these will just continue for the life of you owning the computer. You'll have these weird errors, weird problems, and it's just gonna be it's gonna have a bad time.
And Nick said to Tim, "Fuck it, let's
just fucking do it. Yeah, it's frustrating that it had to work out like that, but
I mean, the motherboard, at least it wasn't the graphics card that shit itself. That's the most expensive.
That's the most expensive
item in
part.
the computer.
Yep. Then it's your CPU, the second most expensive.
And
Then probably the motherboard is probably after that. And then everything else. But yeah, like I said, with the K series chip there, this is the board that you want. This is like even if you don't want to overclock, I'll generally still put a Z490 motherboard in with your K series chip, just because the K series chip's higher powered and it needs a robust motherboard with decent cooling and VRMs and stuff like that for it.
Keegan wants to know, so how old was the build before Nick brought it to?
72 hours old.
72 hours until Nick had discovered major problems, because whoever mounted the cooler didn't remove the bit of plastic that protects the block. They just put thermal paste down on top of the plastic and put it on the CPU. So CPU was getting to 100 degrees in games. So
I'm pretty sure before the plastic had melted, the CPU would have been fried long before that.
yeah, definitely, because the plastic's probably not going to melt too much at 100 degrees. That's like really thick plastic they put on there.
Oh, true.
Restart.
No,
No,
still doing all this. It's nearly done.
72 hours, and then I realised, well, fuck it.
This isn't right. Something's not right with this.
Like, I tried to boot up games like not once but twice, maybe 3 times, try to play them, and Skyrock goes, no, close, hold F4, hold F4.
Yeah.
I thought the cats come upstairs.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, Keegan, you just imagine spending $2,600 on a PC and you get it back in 72 hours. It's overheating and there's weird problems when you reboot it. And
just think
Your
if Tim
RGB
did that.
fans aren't working
If
properly.
Tim did that, imagine if Tim did that, and you'd just be like, fucking have it back, fix it.
yeah, it wouldn't. With me, it wouldn't even make it out the door. If I had problems with it like that, I'd be telling the customer, hey mate, there's some really weird problems going on with this.
I didn't want
I'm going to need it for another day.
I didn't want you to know you after he got what?
After you got your money,
After
his money, yeah.
I mean, he still tries to talk to me. Like I told him I was getting a new motherboard. He's like, "Who the fuck you doing that? Just bring it to me."
Yeah.
I don't want you to touch it again, dude.
I haven't got the balls to say that because it's like a gaming team. He's one of the major sponsors. I just don't want to say that.
Just, yeah.
Like, mate, you fuck shit up. Like,
Yeah.
get the hint.
Dude. Yeah, it's just not. Not what you expect. It's the thing, you're buying a $2,000 product, it's got to be right. It should be fucking perfect.
I mean, it's like a $3,100 product now.
Yeah. Yeah. But at least you know we've got the good motherboard in there for it. So.
What's that game boost thing do? Does that just allow you to close down certain things on like task manager?
Yeah, you don't really need it with a high-end computer. It's more of one of those like tools that help people on lower-end, older computers optimize.
I mean, my computer's not really high-end. It's like a mid-range. If I overclocked it, that is what would make it high-end.
No, I'd call this high-end from the word go. I guess maybe not so much anymore, but like. So I'm looking at like the overall market of PCs, and even though yours isn't like the top like specs, it's still in that top like 15% of systems out there probably.
Well, someone was telling me that the 10700K is one of the best processors.
Yeah, it is. Yep, absolutely. Like I said, it's basically a 9900K.
I mean, to be honest, if I had the money, I'd just go all out and go for the 10900K.
Yeah.
Or the 10900KF, actually.
Yeah, you could get the 10900KF for just over 600. It's like $100 more, and you get.
I think I'd just go for the K in case, like, because I've got those onboard, what am I trying to say here? The onboard graphics for the motherboard.
Yeah.
If I want like a separate screen like you've got with your test bench there, like, just like off to the side,
Yeah.
it's just got notes and stuff on it. I can use that.
Yep.
So if I got the KF, I wouldn't be able to use that offside.
No.
Motherboard graphics.
That's what you get with the K. You get the onboard graphics there. So the only thing when you use the onboard graphics is it will take some of your RAM and allocate that as VRAM. So you'll have less system memory available.
Yeah, because those onboard, they were going to be my second monitor for like my Twitch chat.
Yeah, yep, and that's what it's used for really. So
yeah, just do home.
So you don't have to. So you can have your graphics card completely dedicated to running the game that you want without running that second screen off it, which is just going to drag down your FPS and all that. So.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yep, no, that's the way to go. Yeah, I've got a K in there. I don't have a KF, so. Christine's got a K in hers.
So we're all running Ks.
We're all running Ks, yeah.
We're all running 10,000 Ks.
Sweet
What a
as.
nightmare.
Yeah, well, look, mate, it's fucking over now, so take a nice big sigh of relief with that one.
Next minute I get home, nothing turns on.
No.
I literally.
We've done a few reboots now, and we haven't had that boot error that was coming up. Remember you getting that weird boot error that was.
It's got to be something on that board.
There's something. That's what I meant. Something's not right with
Well,
it.
maybe it's just the CPU does not like that board.
No. It's the CPU will be compatible. You could put it in a shitty like H410 motherboard, and it would be okay. It would just some parts of the motherboard might get a bit hot while it's trying to do things, but yeah, it would still work. I mean, it works with your 10700K will work with any Intel 400 series chipset motherboard. Oh, we don't need Xeon updates. There should be a few more little cumulative updates, and then
Xeon updates? What are they?
Xeon is for Intel's workstation platform.
Oh,
So-
we're apparently up to date.
Yep, sweet. Excellent.
All I have to do is, unless you already did that, but rename my PC.
Oh no, I haven't done that, and I haven't logged into your
Oh yeah.
like Microsoft account and all that.
You never do.
Nah. No, I never. I just leave it as default. But you can easily just go in and sign into Microsoft account. So
Oh well, I didn't even do that last time when I was on the Windows Home.
yeah,
I just left it because I don't know if you can have a Microsoft account and still have your login but with no password.
no, you can't.
So yeah, I just left it the same because I knew I'd have to come see you again.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can. Yeah, if you use your Microsoft account, you've got to use a password, but you can set a PIN.
So you just,
So you can use the numpad, and then you don't even have to press enter. You can just type the numbers in; it will open the screen up. So that can be useful. That's what I use. So I've got Microsoft account signed in everywhere,
oh yeah.
and I just use the PIN function. It's relatively
I just
easy.
type my numbers and logs in automatically. Don't
Just
even
a
have to
4-number
press
code. Just type it into the numpad really quickly.
Oh, it's an event.
Yeah, so we'll just make sure that everything's tuned up right.
Yeah,
Fans.
you'll watch it have so many squares and you just fly through that again like last time.
Yeah, it will. We'll just and we'll get the updates to all your random Microsoft apps here as well.
Since this is almost done, I should probably
Yeah, get
get my list organised early.
yep, for sure. So much going to-
No, I can guarantee I'll probably see you again
Yeah.
because I'll want updated like RGB re-inputting, probably some RGB strips. Those RGB strips, they're not 5V, are they? They're like
No, they're 12V, but you got 12V headers, so
okay, yeah.
yep. No worries. Yeah, see that's what if you add the strips, you put them like around the corners of the case, and it gives it that like huge amount of light that just resonates through the case.
And are
And
they?
you got a tinted glass too, so it won't be like super
Can't-
bright.
can't-
That one's tinted.
You
So.
can't address them, can you? Like,
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
12V
Yeah.
addressable headers, yeah.
Yeah, the 12V headers are addressable. The difference is these 5V ones can do like the rainbow effect,
Oh,
whereas the 12V ones can just send a signal saying blue lights, red lights, yellow lights.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be the one colour all the way
Oh,
along. But the 5V ones, that's why they're sometimes called ARGB or addressable RGB, which means you don't just have to tell them to be one colour. It can be multicolours and all that.
I'll tell my mum that the motherboard replace will take one look at it and just say, oh, but it doesn't look any different.
Doesn't look any different, but
Well, it kind of does. The heat sinks and the M2 drives are different.
no, it's the same heat. It's the same heat spreaders. It's just different, different stuff on the VRMs.
Is there someone who's building PC to sell to customers? Yes.
Yeah. Makes me a bit sad because like
Yeah, it is what it is.
yeah.
Like, it happened to me. I'm willing to let it go, but the next person, he might not be so lucky.
No, like, man, I'd cut sick if that was like how I got delivered. I'm like, how is this acceptable to you? Well, remember what I said to you, man. I'm like, it's basically it's like if you're getting your car serviced and you went to a mechanic and they
Oh, yeah.
didn't put oil in the car, they didn't put the windscreen wiper blades back on, and he shorted out a couple of your tail lights and didn't replace the bolts. And then you're driving around town and then all of a sudden your car starts overheating and you pull over.
Or you get pulled over by the coppers asking why your tail lights are out.
Yeah. Or something like that. Like that person, that mechanic, they'll probably end up on Today Tonight or a Current Affair. There'll be like a big
Yeah.
scandal let this vehicle come out of his shop in such a state it was dangerous. It could have destroyed the customer's car, and
Could have just blown up mid
yeah, just and it would have been this big scandal and all that, and that's what your PC was in PC terms. So that's why I say it's concerning to me. An Inwin 309 ARGB case. Is that like the Inwin Infinity case? Which one's the 309?
I'll just Google it.
Yeah,
My wife's going to show me a photo of it. I've probably seen it before.
I'm actually interested. Ooh.
The 309? Yeah, that's the 309.
Those ones are so
Oh,
cool.
I know the 309. No, I have not built in a 309
We
yet.
want to.
I really want to.
Yeah.
I'd buy one for myself, but it's just not. I love the addressable stuff at the front.
That's where it's like Rubik's cubes down the front, and like you can change the different colours. Of
Yeah, you can put your own pattern and draw your own images and stuff like that.
My
on the
mate
front.
has one of those.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're great cases.
He's got his Rubik's cube, but it like does snake down the front of the case.
Ah, nice. Yep.
I'd have it looking like Tetris.
I'd have mine looking like Pac-Man. Yeah, they're nice cases. I wouldn't be able to afford one. No chance. Then again, I can kind of imagine my setup inside. I can imagine having one of those cases with my setup.
Mm.
Cinnaben's just going to beat through this real quick.
Yeah, it's not have any problems with this.
Hopefully smaller than last time. Oh no.
No, you're probably thinking of a 10900 benchmark you've seen with the extra 2 cores and 4 threads. That goes really fast.
Yeah.
Have you seen like the 5950X do Cinebench?
No. He probably just flies to it.
Yeah, so it's got 32 threads, so there's 32 boxes going. It does it in about 10 seconds, the entire fucking thing.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I swear that was quicker last time.
Possibly.
I mean, it's not skipping a beat, but
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's much more expensive than your build, wasn't it, Keegan? Oh no, yours. No, you could have had that with your budget.
how much are you looking at for like those sort of cases?
Oh, the 309.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 349. 349. So they're pretty expensive, but those Cougar.
Oh, those rocket ship looking
Yeah.
part cases. My team leader, my gaming team leader, he actually owns one of those cases.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks like something off of a rocket ship.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
They're alright. They're just. What I don't like about them is they've got the clear bit on the cable side, so it takes ages to do the cable management just perfectly. You gotta get all the cables, like. Especially when there's like. I built in. Go back. I built in one of them, right? It was a good build, but it took me ages because I had to like do all the cable management on the back and get it looking like
That'd be the size of that case.
yeah, basically, yeah.
because they're the full cases. They're the real chunky ones that you wouldn't want to like carry around.
Yeah, that is like a full metal case, metal and glass.
That
It's
is
heavy.
nice. Yeah, I wouldn't be like, yeah, Tim, I need you to fix this. When we walking on upstairs, they'll be like, "Yep, you can carry him." Yeah, see, I feel like it's getting faster every time. Done. Oh, you're stressing it hard.
Yeah, we're stressing it.
Cinebench and Thermark's going. No wonder it's going slow. If you were doing Cinebench by itself, it'd be nailing through that.
Oh, no, it's doing a bit. It's going about full speed. I mean, if you wanted to make it go faster, we just pull up XTU and put it at 5.1, and then we see how that's going for thermals, and then we make adjustments from there. We can push the voltage down a fraction. That sometimes can have a huge impact on your thermals.
Once you overclock it, you can revert it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can give you a demo on it, and you can just put it back to, because that's the thing with a K series chip, you can underclock it or overclock it. It's not like think of it not so much of overclocking as you can do the fine tuning on it. It's got all that unlocked for you.
Oh, I'd like to see the demo, please.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think I tried to open XTU just before and it didn't let me do it because obviously Gigabyte got an older version of it. So if I go to get the latest version of it for you.
Ooh. Oh. Is that the case we're looking at or the desk?
That's the case.
I want one of those PC cases where they're like, you can have your glass showing like skeleton bones, like not stickers but actual images, and they just animate.
Yep.
Check this out.
What the? What?
It's a computer.
Why does it look
It's
like a monitor?
RAM.
Is that?
There's your power supply, your graphics card, hub for the cooler.
Don't tell me they've got like
It's a
projector.
Ryzen.
Don't tell me they've got like a projector screen that pops up there, because that looks nice.
Curved gaming case. Jesus.
It does. It looks like a monitor. It looks like the computer parts are built into the monitor.
It's like those wall-mounted cases.
Now I'm going to mount my monitor on the wall. my case on the wall.
Yep.
It's the godlike motherboard.
They're pretty cool. I thought of buying one to use as a test bench and just take the glass off it and leave it open and lie it down. But then I was like, nah, man, I like the second-hand
Ooh.
test bench look.
See, I was looking at going for not like a mini motherboard, but like a mini case.
Yep.
But I was like,
Nah, don't.
Because I've seen these little box ones where you've got the cables on one side and everything else on the other side.
Yep.
And I was like, nah, I was thinking it was like a mini ATX case.
Alright, so this is XTU, so this is Intel's own app that they created to allow you to do tuning on your CPU without going into BIOS and doing it. And so as we can see here, got our ratio there at 4.7, our cache ratio at 4.3. So this is the basic tuning page, so you can just like up it and apply and run the benchmark there to see what the improvement is. We go to advanced tuning, it always just tells you, it gives you a warning here about voltage. Don't do something stupid, basically. So that means just don't do something like, don't go.
And then press OK.
Yeah. Well, if you did that, it'd probably just crash straight away.
Okay, true.
So we can leave all the voltage there just set. We'll just do some basic tuning here. So what we can do is we'll put them both up by 4 and we'll see how stable that is. So I think because it goes to 5.1 on boost, we should be able to go 5.1 all cores and it'll be pretty stable. So we'll apply that. We'll open up hardware monitors. The main thing when you apply any overclock is the temperatures. That's the problem. It's not so much that it's going faster that's going to do it damage.
Oh, you
It's,
just need the temperatures.
we just need to make sure that those temperatures are within limit and stuff like that. That's even more important when you play around with the voltage settings. Because like if this was to fail now, where we've just increased the clock speed and the cache ratio, then it might not be that this is unachievable. It might just be we need to do a voltage offset as well to keep it in line with the higher clock speed. And that's where the tuning comes into it. You can play around with it and adjust it, but so this is running at 5.1 rather.
Holy snap, that is quick.
But where we're going straight up to it. We're going straight up to 100 degrees on this test now. So that shows you that we're probably a little bit over volted with these settings. So I'll show you. So we can go. I've done that there. So we'll go to advanced tuning now. And so we've got 51 on all cores there. So that's fine. But what we'll do is we're gonna apply a voltage offset. So we're gonna go
undervolt.
So we're gonna undervolt it just slightly. So just 0.03 volts. We're gonna give that a go because we don't want to undervolt it too much. Then it'll become unstable because it doesn't have enough power. But typically they overvolt them a bit at stock.
Oh, yeah.
Just because they want to make sure that they're definitely stable. So what we can do now, we've applied that undervolt. So we can go in, we'll restart hardware monitor so we refresh those maximums.
Oh, this easy case.
What the fuck?
That's an
That is-
Win Yong.
That is strange.
I like the Leon Lee cases though. That was actually one of the cases I was looking at. Oh. Holy.
It's getting up, but hasn't hit 100 yet. It's probably going to hit 100. It's right up there. But we haven't calibrated the fans yet.
Dang, 100 degrees.
Yeah. So that's showing you there that it's getting pretty hot. But let's just calibrate these fans first. I realised we didn't do that. Because when we calibrate the fans, it's also calibrating the pump on the CPU.
Oh, yeah.
So, because if that pump's not running at full speed when it goes under load, that could be why it spikes up to 100 degrees. But it wasn't, the thing is, when we were running it at stock, it wasn't spiking like that at all for Cinebench. So,
Yeah.
that's the important thing to note.
Yeah.
And we are doing 5.1 all cores, which is pretty epic.
I see. I don't like that.
What?
Oh, this in-win case that Alice, it has like a cloth that goes around the outside of it instead of an actual case. It's like comes with the frame and personalised this cloth that goes around it. It's kind of strange. It looks like a bloody white clothes
Did
basket.
you just drop the power a bit more?
Yeah, I just went to 0.05 under. And make sure those fans are definitely going full speed for this test. And open up hardware monitor again. And see, this is the sort of thing you can do. You can just keep testing it and testing it and testing it until you find that right balance of settings.
And then can you save those settings?
Yeah, you can save it as a profile.
Default, oh, you can save it as a profile.
So there we go. Now we're sitting in the low 90s. So it looks like we're not going to hit 100 degrees anymore with these settings. So we've kept the 5.1 all core. We've dropped the voltage a little bit. We'll probably drop the voltage a little bit more without it affecting any stability. But this is Cinebench. This is Cinebench work, not gaming work.
Yeah.
So if you were just gaming, you wouldn't be seeing anywhere near these temperatures because it's doing pretty intensive work here.
We might hit 100.
Might hit 100.
We're on the edge of
We're on the edge. Just staying under. But as you can see there, see where your score is. You're beating pretty much everyone. You're just a fraction under a Threadripper.
This is great for the blow up of 100.
Yeah. So let's do a voltage offset of 0.75. This shouldn't affect stability.
Oh, so that's just dropping it even more.
Yeah.
What is this? Oh, this is XP battle cruiser. I need a case with a glass bottom. Or just like a glass panel on the side there so I can see my power supplies, RGBs.
So now we're like nearly all the way through a run, and we're still sitting in the low 90s.
That is going
so that's
so far.
That's smashing through it. And see, this is with the 8 pins. If you had the extra pins, probably push it a bit harder. But I mean, like, your CPU's using, it's got 220 watts flowing through it right now. So it's not like it's not doing much. It's chewing a fair bit of juice here. It's working hard.
I mean, my computer can pretty much run any game on
Yeah.
stock anyway.
Yeah, you can.
so-
You can. 4.7 is heaps.
I'll just get you to find like the stable
Yeah.
thing and then save it as a profile and then set it on back to default for me.
Yep.
And then if I feel like the overclocker, I can just access the settings, just bang, apply, done.
Yep. Yeah, I mean 5.1 generally whatever their max boost speed is, if you've got a good cooler on it and everything like that, you can generally get it to run at that
So how many
speed all the
many
time.
cores have I got running 5.1 at the moment? I have two.
All of them. At the moment with the overclock. But with its stock it goes up to 5.1 on 2 cores at a time max. But the way we've got it, we've just told it, just go 5.1 on all cores all the time.
Smash it.
Just, yeah.
Just smash it.
But I mean, just because it's sitting at those levels, like, see, we've gone back into hardware monitor. See the wattage that it's drawing? Now it's only using 10 watt because it's idling. So even though the clock speed's really high, it's not chewing any extra power now. And that's why the temps have dropped back down. So even though it's overclocked, it's still sitting in like the low 30s there at idle. So it's not like it's, while it's not doing anything, it doesn't do too much. And say if we went into like CPU Z, and this is more like using 100% while you're gaming. This stress test. So this shows you, as you can see, while you're gaming at these settings,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not even getting anywhere near.
That actually looks about right when I'm gaming.
Yeah.
Between the mid 70s.
Yeah, and that's here with 5.1 all cores, and that's just a gaming workload. So you're not gonna get anywhere as hot as what you'll see in Cinebench. That's why I always do stress tests with Cinebench because it is such an intensive workload for it. And this is excellent. 6,100. You like. That's what I get on mine. I got 5.1 all cores. So
basically my computer right now is actually keeping up with yours.
you've got yeah. It's like you got an i9. It's like basically by getting the 10700K, you've got yourself an i9 9900K. So when you were looking at the 10th gen, sorry, the 9th gen ones, that's basically what you've got in terms of the performance.
Oh, so we can go back down to standard speed and still have those running or no?
Yeah, that's fine. Because if we just go to standard, if it ramps up and the CPU gets used more, it'll just turn the fans on faster.
Oh yeah.
It's the other thing we have to do. Last configuration thing, MSI Afterburner. We'll make sure those graphics card fans tuned. Start with Windows. Start with background. want to make sure that it'll actually get to like 100% well before it gets to 80 degrees. I don't know why it does. It's set so it only does 100% when it's at 90 degrees. I don't know why they set that as a default. Love to hear someone's explanation for that, but yeah.
So how do you reset the overclocking and all that back to defaults? Like, you can
Yep,
like,
so-
change that one.
Yep. So it's 4.3.
Oh, so you actually have to set it back to
4.7.
default manually.
Yep. And then that core voltage offset, just put that back to 0. And yeah, it was like 0.075, and then it was 5.1 all cores, and just move the cache up at the same amount.
I thought you could save the profiles. And
You can save the profiles and stuff like that, but my experience with it is it doesn't work. It doesn't work too well, especially if you save multiple profiles, and if you want it to go back to default all the time, there is, like, if you go into, you can load your profiles. So you go here,
Oh, you can load the default.
you can load the default, but yeah, if you want it to, because it remembers your overclock settings that you apply, and so
Oh, yeah.
then when you turn your computer on, it'll apply those last settings that you've applied. So I generally just put it back. If I want it to run stock, I just put it back manually, and then I don't have any problems with it then, because sometimes you apply that profile and yeah.
So it just doesn't
It
work.
just doesn't do it
You still
properly.
kick in at 5.1 on all cores.
Yeah. One thing you can do, you can go your turbo boost power time window and you can push that up to longer, so it'll hold the boost for longer. This one here, AVX2 offset ratio. So this is, remember I was saying Cinebench is really intensive.
I feel like I'd have to do research into this, and yeah.
Yeah, so that's the kind of instruction set Cinebench does. So if we were getting it always to 100 degrees and we couldn't fix it with voltage settings and all that, we can set it to underclock itself by that factor when it does that kind of workload. So I could set it at, if I set it at 5.1 gigahertz and I had this AVX to offset ratio at 4, then when I went into Cinebench, it wouldn't run at 5.1, it would drop itself to 4.7.
Oh, wow.
So that's what that offset ratio does. It's only when it's doing the most intensive workload for a CPU that it will do that.
Yeah.
The reason why you might not want to have it set though is because whenever it's doing AVX2 work, it will drop itself, even when it's not doing an intensive amount of it. So it'll reduce your performance when you're not doing too much by having that applied. So
Keegan said I have to take off, guys. Enjoy your PC now, Nick. Enjoy the rest of the night.
no worries, Keegan. You have a good one, mate. I'll see you next time. But we're pretty much done here anyway. So
Yeah, so that's good that everything's on. Are you going to leave that turbo boost up?
I'll leave the turbo boost up because that's not really overclocking or anything like that. That's just gonna do it, hold its turbo for a bit longer.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that might be a good starter overclock to do, because it's not really an overclock. It's just telling the system to.
So what are we deleting there?
That was. No, I didn't delete anything. I just put it in the applications folder.
Oh, there's an application folder.
Oh, I make these custom icons. So I make a custom applications folder and I make a custom games folder.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And so, because obviously, like whenever you install something new, it creates a desktop icon. And so then you can, if it's a game, you can just drag your game into the games folder. If it's an application, you just drag the application into the application folder. And then it just keeps everything nice and clean on your desktop. Because I hate it when it gets all full. it's not so much that I hate seeing all the shit on my desktop. I don't really care. But what I hate is trying to remember where a certain app is.
I'm
When
the same.
it's like, where the fuck is that game? And you
And
like,
then you're just like, maybe
Oh.
I uninstalled it.
yeah, and then you're like, oh no, it was right there in the corner the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the exact same.
Yeah. So that's why I've done this for years personally, and so whenever I make a new computer for someone, I always put these icons on the
when
desktop.
I saw the customized icons, I was like, why does it look like a rubbish bin? Is he deleting all the apps? He just
No. So they're all just in there to keep them all together.
So obviously she didn't get the message. I'll give her a ring.
Hey, no worries.
I'm gonna sit down on the stairs while you.
No, well, I think we probably leave this video here for tonight. Yeah, so Nick's computer is now completely done with his i7-10700K CPU, his Aorus Z490 Elite AC motherboard with Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5, his 3060 Ti Tough Gaming card, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, and 500 terabyte NVMe drive. He has himself 650 watt, 80 plus rated power supply, and a total of 7 fans, including the 3 on his 360mm AIO water cooler. So all in all, Nick will be very happy with this PC. It's going to perform exactly as he expected. All of his lights can be addressed with the motherboard. His system is overclockable if he needs to do that, or if he wants to do that. It's just good to have the option there to fine tune your K series Intel CPUs, because I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, I like to have the ability there. It's like when you buy an expensive computer, you should be able to control how it behaves, right? You should be able to tell the CPU, hey, I'm doing something intensive at the moment. I want you to work really, really hard at it. You want to be able to tell it to be able to do that. And then when it's doing something intensive for a long time, you want to be able to tell it, hey, you're going to be doing this for a while. It's going to get really hot. Let's make it so you don't run quite as hard while we're doing this next task. And that's what you can do with overclocking. It's not always pushing it up to some ridiculous level. Sometimes, like what we did here with Nick, sometimes it's a case of we actually reduce the voltage. So it's not always overclocking as such. It is overclocking. What we were doing was overclocking even though we were undervolting, but that's kind of how this thing works. So essentially I'm happy because Nick can now tune his system. Yeah, so the ones that are called digital on there are the 5 volt, and the LED is the 12 volt. Yeah. So once you get some 12 volt RGB strips. No, she's getting up me as usual. She always gets up me in these videos.
There we go. Look how bright that is. That's what kills me. Like having a full rainbow effect, because these top ones didn't work at the beginning. So
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like,
And so yeah, now they're all synchronized and yeah.
and I can change that through
Armory crate. Yep.
Probably the only thing I can change is Armory crate.
Yeah, well, it's the only you didn't get an Asus board, so no. Fucking happy days. I'm glad that power supply is fucking working for you as well.
Is it actually working?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
You can't tell. You can barely see it. What you could do, if you wanted.
I wish I could like turn it around or do something, but I can't. Alright, what's turned on?
There you go.
Oh yeah, you can just take
We
that
just
out.
take this filter out because it doesn't really need that because the power supply is going to be
It's blowing the air
Yeah.
outwards, isn't it?
yeah. No, it's fine. You're not going to be having it on carpet anyway, are you?
No, it's gonna be on the desk.
Yeah. So you don't need that. Those,
I mean, the top one.
you really don't even need that either because
Yes,
this is
I want
because
it.
this is blowing it
It
out.
looks nicer, Tim.
Yeah, I know.
It does.
I know. I just mean technically because they're blowing air out. You don't really need this.
So that LED is not needed.
Yep.
Oh, so why is that back and that one's not? Whatever. Yeah, me too. Cool. And that's the
That's
final
it.
product.
It's fucking done. It's all working. It all works. It works. Full features. Everything. Fucking happy days.
I really wish you had gotten the deep cool fans.
Oh really?
Sorry.
Sorry.
So good. Yeah, because that deep cool fan at the back is just like looks pretty good, and then the top one is just mismatched. But that's all it is.
But you got.
But you said those fans are a lot more better anyway.
Yeah, all there. Christine really likes them. She's the one who loves them. She doesn't have those ones.
What?
Those three at the top.
Yeah.
You love them. Yeah. Well, you know, you can always buy a set of deep cool ones, and you'll put these on Gumtree, and someone will buy them.
Yeah.
So
Just get
It is.
yeah, you can probably finish it up. I'll just say goodbye quickly. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. I probably don't have one tomorrow. I'm gonna have a bit of a day off. I've got a heap of boring kind of administrative tasks to do. I've got a website to finalise and other bits of administrative stuff to do. So no video tomorrow, but more again next week. So I'll see you then in the next video.